10:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The 90th Masters at Augusta National came down to the wire, but Rory McIlroy outlasted a Sunday push from Scottie Scheffler and finished at 12 under to win the green jacket for a second consecutive year. McIlroy, the fourth to win back-to-back Masters, joining Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods. A report came out over the weekend that Miami defensive end and first-round prospect Rueben Bain Jr. was involved in a car accident in 2024 in which a passenger later passed away. Multiple draft insiders have reported that this is not new news to NFL teams and is something that has been a part of the vetting process. Over the weekend, Nashville SC won on the road at Charlotte, 2-1. Eddie Tagseth and Patrick Yazbek, the goal scorers. Nashville remains at the top of the East. They head to Mexico City tomorrow night to face Club America in the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinal. And the Nashville Predators won 2-1 over the Wild on Saturday as they continue to push for the final wild card spot in the West, which currently is held by the Kings. Preds are 1 point back and hosting the Sharks tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop at 7. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Very newsy weekend in the world of sports. Hope you had a good weekend. Looking forward to the next 3 hours with you guys. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Robert, Lucas, and me with you until 1 o'clock today. F&M Bank Chat also available for you to comment if you would like on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Of course, you can leave your comments there. As you heard in Lucas's update, Rory won the Masters back-to-back. Well done by him. It wasn't much in doubt. After Scottie Scheffler finished his round, it was just kind of waiting to see whether Rory would maintain that two-stroke lead. He did. No drama, no muss, no fuss. Okay, well done by Rory. The Rueben Bain Jr. story is the biggest story NFL-wise, where Ollie Connolly and our buddy Trey Wallace of Outkick, I spent 30 minutes on the phone with Trey last night getting additional details, further context on what we needed to know for our purposes about the Rueben Bain story, but both people reporting on a 2024 incident that Rueben Bain was driving a vehicle in which he and 4 other passengers, 2 teammates, 2 females, got into an accident where he hit a vehicle from behind, slammed into one concrete wall on the side of the highway, slammed into the opposite wall on the other side of the highway. A 22-year-old girl who was in the vehicle went into a coma as a result of the injuries from the initial wreck, then 3 months later passed away. The other female in the car hospitalized for her injuries. The 2 former teammates then transferred to UCF, not necessarily because of the incident, because obviously the incident is just now coming to light, but Miami teammates at the time who then transferred to UCF, all 3 players eligible for this upcoming draft. The story breaks 10 days before the draft. It leads to a lot of questions about why now, why 2 years after the fact. I think it's fair if you're an audience member to question what is the relevance if he was not charged with anything. Because he was not charged criminally for the death of Destiny Betts, the female passenger who passed away. He was also not charged for an additional careless driving citation that he received as a result of basically a clerical error. So he got off in less than a year from the initial incident on a similar incident where he was cited in both for careless driving. We can talk about the Rueben Bain thing throughout the course of the day because I think there's a number of different angles to it. Between when did Miami know and why was it not disclosed? Is there a responsibility on the university, on the football program to disclose it? Teams have reportedly known for several months, and it's been a part of their vetting process specific to Rueben Bain Jr., but it is an interesting layer to an already polarizing prospect. And, of course, at the end of the day, it's a tragic story because there was loss of life. Good morning.
Morning. It is a tragic story.
A lot of news.
Very
a lot of news
newsy
going
weekend.
on.
Yeah. Drama roller coaster of a Masters that had a kind of like you said, a anticlimactic finish.
I mean, really, the only day that was a roller coaster was Saturday, where he goes in with a 12-stroke lead,
six-stroke lead,
6-stroke lead. Oh, but he was 12 under.
12 under,
right?
And
a 6-stroke lead.
He finishes at 12 under, but I just keep going back to that birdie putt from Scottie Scheffler that just lipped out and potentially could have had us going to a second consecutive playoff at the Masters.
Sure. But
history for Rory. Amazing how last year's Masters win kind of lifted the pressure, the weight off his shoulders, because he looks, like Brett Kern said, looks like a dude that could win maybe 5 straight Masters. That's being extreme, but that is a credit to Rory to have that commanding lead, squandering it, losing the lead again on Sunday, and then having to kind of regain control on the back nine at Augusta National to become the first back-to-back champion since Tiger in the early 2000s and only the 4th ever.
Robert, golf or no golf?
No shot.
I watched golf on Friday.
Did you watch golf on Friday?
Yeah, I kind of got into it.
It's because he was with me and our buddy Jay.
Well, you would have no impact on that whatsoever. You don't care about golf.
Oh, no, I watch the Masters. I watch every round of the Masters.
Yeah, I was rooting for my boy Patrick Reed. Kind of fell back, had a crummy finish. I asked Lucas how he did today. He was like, oh, he's 5 under, dude. He sucked. Yeah, 5 under sucks. Y'all just hate to see somebody winning. Hate that I have the Reed for speed now. You don't like that the classic golf villain was in the cahoots, in the running. And golf is all politics. And that's why Patrick Reed didn't win.
It's a lot more political since the Saudis got involved with the other tour, but that's neither here nor there.
I thought it could get spicy towards the end there.
Justin Rose and Scheffler were pushing him. We were on the air for Fox on Saturday and Sunday when the final round finished, so it was fun to watch that and be able to talk through it in real time. They really, so the stat or the fact, whichever category this particular thing fits into, one of the producers for Fox had this: Scheffler's the first player since 1942 to go through the full Masters tournament without bogeying a single hole.
Yeah, no, he didn't go through the whole tournament, but Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, that's crazy. Scotty was phenomenal.
He was awesome
in the back half. Phenomenal. Just to think, just the amount of shots he would have liked to have back to be in contention to win there towards the end.
And not that I'm preying on Rory's downfall, because it's really cool for him to be able to do that, especially what his career's been, where he was in basically like a 3-year majors drought before his Masters win last year, where he had, I think, the best finish that he had was a second-place finish, maybe at the Players a couple of years ago, and then obviously won the Masters in dramatic fashion last year. I was kind of rooting for him to blow it, though, just for the purposes of drama.
It was more than 3 years. I mean, it was over a decade since he had won a major. 2014, his last major before the 2025 Masters. Now he's a 2026 Masters champion, and he's 36 years old. So plenty of time to continue writing his name among the elite. Now he is one of very few to have won a Grand Slam. He is one of very few to go back-to-back at the Masters. Nobody's three-peated, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think that's ever happened before, but I thought it could get spicy when he sliced that drive into the trees on 18 there towards the end and ended up getting an opportunity to 2-putt for a bogey and winning by 1 stroke. But felt like it could get... And also, did anybody else notice the lack of camera angles?
Oh, CBS.
What was that?
So bad.
Like, I feel like the entire weekend went without a hitch. CBS always does an incredible job, I think, covering the Masters. Jim Nantz, always peak Jim Nantz during the Masters.
But this was botched unequivocally.
And then the last stretch, I had no idea what was happening after Cameron Young and Rory McIlroy teed off on 18 on Sunday.
So they lost McIlroy's approach on 18. They lost Cam Young's second shot. They chose a camera angle after the fact on the winning putt that made it uncertain as to whether he had missed the putt or made the putt. Seeing the ball in that particular moment, pretty important to the outcome of the situation beyond the obvious celebration that resulted afterwards. But it was a really poor, I mean, I would say for that sport, there's not a bigger 10 to 15 minute window that they have.
Yeah.
As far as you got to nail it from the television broadcast standpoint. And it felt like for the biggest 10 minutes of the golf year. We didn't know where one of the balls were.
He's in the bunker, and we had no clue. Jim Nantz didn't seem to know and was a pro, right? And then Rory walks up, and you see him walking up to his ball, and then finally. But even the tap in to win, you couldn't see the ball go in the hole.
Yeah.
The shot was from behind Rory. You just see his arms move, and then the celebration starts. I'm like, he made it, right? I don't know. It was just odd the way that all ended on CBS.
Well, and because the cameras missed those opportunities, one, you had the production truck, the behind-the-scenes people who are putting on the actual television broadcast or running the television broadcast from the truck. You had them in a bit of a blender because they don't know where the ball is if the camera's not showing it. And then that puts the announcers in a tough spot. So no matter how good Jim Nantz is on that call, and he was good as he always is, he didn't know where the shot went. So, again, the most important shot of the most important round of the year essentially disappeared. And CBS was just, I don't know, what is it like when a receiver drops a ball on 3rd and 5, then taps their chest, my bad?
Yeah, I guess.
Type of situation. Like, yeah, it's your bad.
And overtime at the goal line, I guess. But that leaderboard was awesome for the entirety of Sunday. And shout out to Rory for just holding off all the contenders. Nobody seemed to get over that 10 under hump until Scotty Scheffler barely did, and Rory able to hang on.
Now, the other part of this, so Amazon Prime had coverage of the Masters this year. I did not see Amazon Prime. Karen on YouTube is saying that they had a much better outing than CBS did as far as what they were able to broadcast, what they were broadcasting in real time. I can't speak to that. I didn't see Amazon Prime's coverage. Are you familiar with Scripps, either of you?
Yeah, Scripps Network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you aware that Scripps and cable providers are currently in a rights renegotiation that just so happened to take place right before the Masters? So anybody with cable, like me, watching News Channel 5 has not only not been able to get News Channel 5 on my television locally, but I couldn't see any of the Masters on television. Thank God the Masters.com makes these things accessible and are free with the broadcast.
Man.
But I kept trying to get it on CBS proper, and I couldn't get it for all the money that I pay for my cable package.
Shout out to Voice of the Titans, Taylor Zarza, who did a great job on Sirius XM, filling in, calling the Masters in place of Mike Tirico this year. He crushed it, heard his final call, his interview with Rory after the fact. But, yeah, what a weird ending to really an entertaining Masters weekend on CBS.
Who had a more controversial weekend, Masters coverage or Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella?
So Fitzy was asking me about this morning when we filled in for Brady Quinn and LeVar Arrington and them, and he was like, what'd you think of the Coachella stuff?
Was it controversial?
A lot of people are butthurt that Bieber did not have a traditional concert. Did you see any of this?
Yeah. Like he pulled up, he shared his screen with the big screen on stage and like sang along to videos of himself singing as a kid on YouTube, right?
So the reason he had to do that is because his old label owns most of his old music. So he is not contractually obligated to perform like Baby or any of the old Justin Bieber hits. So he had to sing it through a loophole, which was karaoke style.
Oh, my.
So he had to play some of these songs through YouTube in order to perform them. And I thought it was really cool.
Oh, that's a brilliant workaround.
Yeah, I think it was a cool full circle. Biebs has gone through a lot. Cool to see him sing along with his 10-year-old self.
And he doesn't perform very often, right? Like, I don't know how often. It's not like he tours anymore.
Yeah, he's just got more money than God and doesn't have to enable himself to be on tour all the time. But
yeah, a
lot of people saying it was a lazy performance. I think it was really cool.
So that's interesting. Where are you seeing dialogue online? Because I have a lot of my friends went to Coachella. A lot of people that I follow on like Instagram and stuff like that went to Coachella this weekend. And I saw people posting best live performance I've ever seen in my life, hands down, about the Bieber stuff. And maybe it's, in part because it's the excitement of Bieber. He doesn't perform that often in a live setting. I don't know when the last time he was regularly touring. Has Justin Bieber put out an album?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, yeah, I feel like we would know, right? That's kind of our generation. I mean, Bieber hit it big when I was in, I don't know, like a freshman in high school or something like that. So he's been a part of our lives for 2 decades at this point.
Yeah, most people are saying worst performance in history. He stole $10 million from Coachella.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, he got $5 million a night to perform, so maybe
He split it up.
The effort of hey, let's sing karaoke along with my YouTube performances.
Yeah, sorry, he's not Taylor Swift. He doesn't own all of his masters. Sorry about that.
Somebody in the YouTube chat said, because they call it Taylor's version, where she owns her masters, they're saying Justin's version, which is just to pull it up and sing a cappella with your YouTube younger self. So polarizing for some. Either way. Bustin on YouTube says Bieber just put out an album last year. Okay, bad job by me. I was unaware. What we will be made aware of is what happened at the spring game for Tennessee football. Ramon Foster was on the broadcast for that, along with the rest of the crew for the Vol Network. We will also ask Ramon Foster about the Rueben Bain situation coming up next. Two Rivers Ford is the South's most trusted Ford dealer for a reason. They've been doing business in Middle Tennessee the right way for over 4 decades, because a lot of us have bought concert tickets. We were just talking about Bieber at Coachella. I'm sure many people have paid what they think is the cost of the ticket, but then you get a bunch of fees tacked on after the fact that jacks the prices up. A lot of car dealerships do this as well. You see one price online, it's not the price that you end up paying when you go to the dealership, because they've tacked on a bunch of extra accessories or different plans that you didn't necessarily know about. That's not the way that Two Rivers Ford does business. It's what sets them apart. They have real prices. Some dealerships will advertise one price online, like I mentioned. Then when you get to the dealership, show you another price as you're preparing to pay for your vehicle. Not at Two Rivers Ford. At Two Rivers Ford, their advertised prices are real. What you see is what you get. Local, honest, real. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Ramon Foster is here, part of the best college broadcast in the world, Vol Network, of course. They were on the call for the spring game. So, of course, you could follow along because you could not watch it on TV. You could hear Ramon and Mike Keith and the rest of the crew back in action. I'm sure it was good to be back in the booth. Looked like the vibes were high.
It was real high, man. The spring game does a lot. It's a different crowd. It's free. You sign up for tickets. I think they said they had over 60,000, I think, tickets allotted for or taken already, and they expected up to 65,000.
That's absurd for a spring game.
A spring game, and it looked like it. Everybody was really underneath the canopy, away from the sun and stuff like that. Oh, for the first time ever in my life, I'm in the stadium pregame, Lucas. I saw a bald eagle flying in the stadium.
What does it mean?
Don't get Vols fans going, okay? I'm just telling y'all, I'd never seen a bald eagle fly before in, like, nature, and it was just
That's
in
awesome.
and out of the stadium. It was by far one of the coolest things I ever saw. So, Vols winning the Natty this year.
Hey, the coolest thing I saw was the flyover. Did you guys see the flyover?
Oh, yeah.
That's it's why I tap in.
Tradition like none other.
And like this was a drawn out flyover. This was like a 1930s silent picture flyover type of situation.
Ramon's camera must be so good because he got like high def shots of the plane as it scooped into
It almost
Neyland.
looked like the plane was in the booth.
In the booth. Where'd you get that little plane?
Listen, I can't tell you all my sources out here, okay, Lucas? Next thing you know, you'll be trying to take my job, my cars, and everything else. Man.
They give you one of those whenever you buy a private jet.
Oh, am I Rory now?
That's
Did y'all get into that yet? Or y'all will of how he's
We
taking
did.
advantage of the Masters, man? Flying
rarefied
private
air.
from Jupiter to Augusta.
Home in
That's
time for
just-
dinner.
They gave him a spaceship.
Pretty much at this point. He was on Artemis too. All right, we're getting off the rails. This is what happened when y'all bring me in here, okay?
No, completely fair. So, what were you going into the broadcast with in mind? Obviously, the quarterback competition, as real as that seems right now. What other things did you have in your notes as far as these are going to be the things that we need to talk about versus what you actually got versus the broadcast broadcast?
I was told that the quarterbacks needed a lot of time, a lot of reps, a lot of help. I left. I'll say this. I'll go to the end first. I left saying this about watching the young guys, and it's not in a bad way. I left saying I see why these college coaches are going after experience. I see why if you've been a backup at a college university and you've gotten your weight, you've gotten an understanding how to play college ball, I see why they're paying $5, $6, $7 million for a quarterback. Because to pay for the to pay for the experience is, I don't think you can overstate it. That Jim Knowles defense got after those young guys. My mindset was I want to see the freshmen, and I also want to see how the offensive line protect them because a lot of in and out people not really practicing and stuff like that. So that was my stance on watching this game. Do they have the talent? The answer is yes. George McIntyre and Faison Brandon both have the talent. The experience? Absolutely not. And that defense took advantage of them in a sense too. I left also saying this defense can be impressive. The way he sets it up with how complicated they said it was, you see it. It will force, if they do what I saw them execute in the spring game, they will make quarterbacks have to be really good at designating who's the mic, where the pressure's coming from. They were lining 6 guys up in the box or at the line of scrimmage, both linebackers in the A-gap, dropping out, bringing one, bringing a corner off the edge. Like, it was NFL level of execution from them in the springtime, which I hadn't seen in a very long time. Defensively on the back end, the secondary was sticky. And not in the way that the wide receivers couldn't get open. But they balanced playing physical with running side by side with the guy, face guard him as much as they possibly could. And the quarterbacks being young, having pressure on them up front, they overthrew deep balls time and time again or had to scramble to find guys. Even in some of the scrambling that Faison and George did from time to time. Faison did more scrambling than George did as well. But you saw them, you usually have that late drag route in which somebody gets open. They're disciplined. Defensively, covered mostly everybody up. And just if you're smart about it, you say to yourself, well, this is going to prepare you for the fall where the defense might pull back a little bit more. Or these guys are good enough players at quarterback to where they'll find those answers sooner. But it was a headache. watching that defense just kind of control the narrative. And again, no Deshaun Bishop was there. Wendell Moore wasn't at left guard. They were interchanged in offensive lines, and I think defense usually have a little bit more cohesion this time of the year anyway. The same way with OTAs and minicamp when we look at the NFL side of this thing.
But it's interesting because this is a defense that has way more turnover personnel-wise than the offense. Obviously, turnover at the quarterback position carries more weight than most other positions, but you mentioned the secondary, with the exception of Ty Redmond and Idris Farouk, in terms of guys that are actually going to play significant snaps for this team, it's transfers, right? It's TJ Metcalf, it's Kayan Hill from Auburn, it's Quay Moss from K-State. So it's interesting to me that they seem to have hit the ground running maybe a little bit more than the offense, but maybe that's to be expected with two guys that have never taken any meaningful snaps at quarterback.
Some of the conversation I was getting last year from people that was around, or just my intel in general, was there wasn't much, respectfully I say this to Tim Banks, much detail given. They just ran the stock plays over and over again. I'm just going to try to catch on fire in NBA Jam. It's basically what we're going to run this over and over and over and over again. That can be good, but guys want to know what happens if they audible. What happens if, hey, we hadn't seen this before? Where do we go to? Like, there wasn't a given baseline from my understanding on how you play in that defense. And more times than not, as chaotic and wild as defenses can be, and I think of it as bulls in china shops, controlled chaos is what defense is. They still have to have a baseline, and I feel like Jim Knowles, at least so far in the spring, have given these guys teachings and assignments and an understanding of, hey, if A isn't there, we got B, C right here ready for you at any point in time, and you should be able to execute it. And it seems to me that's what they were able to do. I'm even watching a guy in Jeremiah T-Land who's not the best coverage guy. He even spoke about it in one of his interviews with Mike Keefe on the podcast that they do. He said the way they go hook zone, and I'm watching him execute this. He's at the line of scrimmage, dropping back into an area in which the quarterback was looking to throw the ball, and lo and behold, there's Jeremiah T-Lander. Just in his zone, because he knows these are the rules of the defenses. This is how I deviate from it from time to time. As I said before, looking at the way that defense played, I think it was a lot of talent under Tim Banks, but not a lot of teaching when it comes down to watching the defense he rolled away from time to time. Specifically, if we even go back to the Ohio State game, they had zero answers. I know way too much about that game as far as the game plan goes, but let's just say I don't think there was much of an adjustment that was given. And I wasn't even on the broadcast at that point in time, so I probably can't say that. It wasn't much of a adjustment and audible to what Ohio State was able to do, and I think that game reflected that as well.
But you didn't see any major discernible differences between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon?
Not even. To be quite honest with you, and I said this on our show, Faison actually showed more athleticism in the pocket, break it down. I didn't think he was that fast because he never talks about his legs. Nobody speaks about Faison Brandon's legs whatsoever. And he's got some burst to him that I didn't know he had. I thought he was a Jameis Winston type. No, he's a threat. He's a threat with his legs. That
can mean so many things.
Yeah. He caught a stray this morning. He did. It's better than, I would say, what Jalen Hurts displays, but it's not Lamar Jackson, somewhere in between. But all you ever hear about with Faison is his arm. And here's the thing. He and George both can sling it. They didn't turn the ball over. The pocket got collapsed on him, or the coverage blanketed a lot. Now, Mike Matthews wasn't in. I think Ethan Davis, one of the tight ends, wasn't in either. You missing parts. And it's the spring. The spring game also, you just want to get out of it healthy. That's it. I saw Deshaun Bishop after the game. It's like, made it through another one healthy. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. Ramon Foster, Ramon and Will, 6 to 10 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 The Zone. Of course, you can hear Ramon on the Vol Network broadcast. All things equal, or if all things are equal with the quarterback, do you have a preference?
I do.
Okay.
I think you got to go with who you see the highest future with, and that's probably Faison.
Okay.
It's hard to say. And even Brent Huff.
Why is it hard to say?
Because you know what the talent that George has. You know George McIntyre can sling it. You know that George can go. The questions and concerns that's been written upon and talked about with George got to get rid of the ball and not shrink in the pocket the way Nico did at times. Not comparing 1-to-1, but they didn't turn the ball over in the spring game. But you can see the decisiveness, like I said, of either just get running because you can, or just throwing the football away. And I thought Faison did that more. So you asked me my preference to get back to the original question. I'm going with the guy that is equal to the guy that's already been there for a year because I know I can keep him for longer. If I go with George and Faison has to sit for, let's go 2 years, then I lose Faison too. It messes up the flow of your projection. I think next year they can go get a higher recruit when it boils down to it. In this world of transfer portal and guys, as I just said a second ago, trying to position themselves so where they can earn as much money as they possibly can, you're going to lose one of them. And I'd much rather keep the younger of the two if everything is even at this point right now. That's a hard place to be as a coach.
Yeah, because you don't know how whoever loses that quarterback battle is going to react in the modern age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very complicated, and understandably so. Like, you have to put, if you're the player and the player's representation, whomever else they're getting advice from, like, you have to do what's in your best interest.
You do, and it's so many different people are in the ears and of these guys because of the transfer portal and what they're allowed to do that coaches have to walk on eggshells almost, and it's unfair. Only way to get past this is to sign contracts that are long-lasting. But here's the thing. You find yourself in a Duke-Miami situation. Miami just pay the buyout money and also give him a house and his sister's schooling and everything else, allegedly. So it's a sticky process to where you can't stack quarterbacks the way you used to again. And as I said before, usually coaches will end up going with the guy. I know George was a 5-star. Faison still was one from my understanding. They're probably going to go, if it was me, with the highest rated one and probably the youngest. You can grow with them.
Ramon Foster hanging out with us in studio.
Chaz Coleman's absence was one of the headlines from Saturday. Heupel's asked about it. Let's just say worst case scenario were to play out, and Chaz Coleman, for whatever reason, can't really help Tennessee this year. We'll see. They're going to try to get him back. Obviously, some off-field personal stuff that he's dealing with. Hasn't been at practice for a while. But what did you make of the state of the pass rushing core as a whole without Chaz Coleman, the guy that we know, has the highest ceiling in that room?
Man, Chaz Coleman better get right or get left behind is what I would tell him. Because the way this defense is set up, it's almost as if like it's a Greg Williams type, right? Like those aggressive, like run down the middle of your face type of defenses. That's what it is, because I don't know if you necessarily have to have a premier rusher to get home because they send so much heat in so many different places. Guys are very disciplined. The second level of the defensive linebacker core can get after. Jaden Pilati can get home. Arian Carter can get home. They can just use Jeremiah Thielander as a get-home type of guy. We ain't even mentioned the secondary. Those guys can blitz off the edge. So I think this defense allows you to have cover if Chaz Coleman isn't a part of the conversation because of the amount of pressure and where it can come from. The D-line in general, to me, I thought it was fine. The D-tackles, I thought looked good. Ethan Utley is bigger right now in a good way. They were able to apply pressure. The Tulane edge transfer, I thought, got after the quarterback pretty good. I forget his name off top, but he was able to get after the quarterback pretty good. And when I bullcrap you guys, that defense, if slated properly and they grow and don't have injuries, could mimic just the schematics of what Georgia does to you. But I would say this: Georgia have more players up front that can beat you up.
Sure. But in principle, the same rules, the same concepts.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I think that they're trying to utilize Cam Coleman with. Chaz is, bro, we could use you. You could use us. This is a time. But, from my understanding, he's got to grow up a little bit. Injuries plague people differently mentally. I'm not sure if he feels he's 100% or, heck, he might just have buyer's remorse or something. I don't know, but I don't worry about him not being out there from what I was able to tell. And again, you're without, Arian Carter still out there. So I'm not overly worried. What I do like this time around the sun for Heupel, no bull crap with it. If he's not with us, he'll figure it out. If he want to come play ball with us, guess what? You can't leave.
No Nico, no Boo Carter type of situation.
None of that. And
no portal for you to jump into right now.
You can't dip. Mm-hmm. Okay, go negotiate a contract. Now, the issue is where is his money slated in his deal? Did they give him $250 up front, or is it back end loaded or performance based? I do think those are things teams are doing right now as well, is they have the ability to make it performance-based or, hey, we'll get this if you're available, almost like a per-game bonus that the NFL teams do. Fascinating.
Always fascinating to chat with Ramon Foster. 6 to 10 a.m. is where you can hang out with him and Will. And, of course, the Ball Network broadcast. We got a little taste this weekend. Coming to a radio dial or a streaming service very near to you. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Second smoothest belly in the building.
Hey, you got a peep at it. You liked it.
Hey, I've been looking at it.
You was trying to get yours as tan as mine.
Hey, I wish my belly was as tan as yours.
And we both working out here.
We trying to get it down?
Do you have an Apple Watch?
I don't.
I'm
that's
about
the
to
next
throw
step.
mine away, I think.
Why?
I heard it traps you too much into thinking something does or doesn't happen if you do or do not have your watch on.
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yes.
Like, I've worked out before and not have my watch and be like, I didn't log it. And I think it has a mental threshold on your actual performance, too, because it can just make you feel as if it's not enough or it's too much when your body is what you need to be listening to. Not that I'm excuse making it, but I think the watch has handcuffed a lot of people.
We ain't never going to get no Apple money if you're talking like that. They ain't never going to pay us to wear Apple Watches if you keep saying, I
also,
love
in what
my
world
Apple
are you
Watch.
working? What are you working on?
I'm saying, what are you doing for Apple to want to come and meet with you anyway?
He's up in the gym working on his fitness, man, every day.
Yeah, and then he goes to sleep and he wakes up and he eats a whole raw sweet potato. Like, I mean,
I got
what?
got
Oh, you didn't hear
Cheyenne.
about this?
I sent you the picture where it looked like it had been gnawed on by a wild animal. I got Cheyenne a cheesecake for her birthday this week, and I drew like a bunch of stuff on it, like happy birthday and all that. Woke up this morning, and it looks like I grabbed a piece of that cheesecake with my hand.
no.
Like it's like a talon had ripped it from its plastic holder.
You sleepwalking still?
Dude, I woke up, my fingers were just sticky. So sticky.
My fingers
From any, and that could be from any number of things. God knows.
Oh, sticky finger.
What would you do if you locked yourself into the room like Cheyenne dead bolted?
Oh, my cats would rip the carpet out because I closed the door.
No, why wouldn't we just like ratchet strap you down for an evening or something like that and see what happens to you?
Put a lock on the fridge at night.
I like to. Everybody's got. Oh, we got all the ideas. Everybody got a plan.
We're
How
trying to
do
think of
this?
solution.
Or what we can simply do is just put cameras in your house so that we can at least use the footage of your malfeasance.
No, I got a feeling he
Oh, it's
sleeps
butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeps. Yeah, hell, I
He
walk
does
around the
primetime
house.
naked.
Hell, I
You
walk
kidding
around the
me?
house
Sorry,
butt ass naked.
You know how many times you forget he doesn't have pants on? He stands up in the middle of prime time in a screen that only I can see, and then I just see this small, sad, shriveled little thing.
Hey, you see that belly too, though.
Child?
Someone get that child out of that bush. What's going
So
on?
long.
Paranormal activity style videos of Robert just stumbling around his kitchen naked, trying to eat everything.
Someone's in the attic.
I would take the time, or at least find somebody to blur the images, because it would be funny to see
the cross-eyed drunk look.
well, the red eyes like a raccoon or something, you know? Well, he's got a handful of cheesecake that he at least tried to be thoughtful for his lovely fiance.
Well, I feel like you need to start like practicing the Thriller dance. Like if you woke up one night and just started going side to side like the zombies. Oh, that's the content we need.
Yeah, Step Brothers, where they just pour the coffee grounds down their throat.
Oh no, the throw pillows are in the oven again.
That's Brendan. Thank you for your time,
No
buddy.
problem, man.
All right, we'll continue to talk about the Ruben Bain situation and the Vols quarterback situation coming up next.
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jury's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair. Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair? The courtroom is where I play ball.
Bart Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Oh, banger. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Robert had a little bit of NFL transactional news. What do you have back there? A little pre-draft hot stove?
Yeah, Brandon Allen following Brian Callahan to New York, where he will join the quarterback room for the Giants.
Titans legend, Brandon Allen.
That's quite a quarterback room. Who's who?
Russ still under contract.
Who are you? What's your name again?
I mean, I'm not going to say that the 2 years in Tennessee, not even 2 full years in Tennessee, should discount Brian Callahan's input on the quarterback room, because there's nothing to say that Brandon Allen has to make the roster. But I just imagine Brian looking at Jameis Winston and be like, no shot. I can't work under these conditions. I'm not saying that he's right, because Jameis is infinitely better than Brandon Allen by any stretch of the imagination. But just the idea of Callahan going from the experience with Levis to Jameis, not because of the people that they are, but because of the some of the miscues that they can make as a part of their game. That has to be his nightmare. Russ still under contract there too, right? Russ not a free agent.
He is a free agent.
He is a free agent.
So before this signing, they only had Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston. And he's probably seeing double with like everything. He's like, oh, Jackson Dart, you're like the Publix version of Will Levis. Like here.
Is Will Levis the Publix version of Jackson Dart?
I was going to say,
like,
what's the compliment there?
Well, no, Publix is the high-end grocery store.
Right, more
if
elevated.
I wanted to say he was the down version, like Will Levis is the Walmart version of Jackson Dart.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Not a dig at Publix.
No, love Publix. Closest grocery store to my house.
Very disappointed by the Publix that's closest to me, though. It's not like a real Publix. It's not like even a full grocery store. It's just like a convenience store that they slapped a Publix name on.
It's like a Publix Plus.
Yeah, like you know what I'm talking about over here in the North Gulch. It's that like little small one that's underneath all those apartments. Don't like that Publix.
So it's like semi-accessible. It wouldn't really be Publix. It would be like gated community.
Which you think I would be for, but not in this instance. So, did you listen to the Volvo Network broadcast? I know you had soccer.
I got a good portion of it, and it's interesting. The evolution of spring games are just so interesting. Like, as college football interest has continued to go up, spring game interest seems like it's kind of gone down. And part of that is less coverage around it.
Well, you can't participate in the discussion if you're just an average viewer at home and you've been able to watch these things on SEC Network for 100
Exactly. Like, there used to be some build-up to the spring game you would watch. There were stats. There was a box score. There's no box score anymore. It is literally just a practice that fans can watch. And, Mike and Ramon are talking through some of the stuff they're seeing, but there's also a lot of storytelling, and they're playing back interviews that Mike has done with, various Tennessee players and members of the coaching staff. But well done, professional as always on the Vol Network. And I think the thing that could really unlock things for this Tennessee team offensively is the offensive line unit. Like, they've got good problems kind of all over the place. Do we start Ori Williams, the big transfer pickup out of LSU at right tackle, or is that going to be Jesse Perry's spot, who's been in the system for a while now? David Sanders Jr. kicking out to his more natural left tackle spot there. They've got depth there at all 5 spots and continuity that could really, really help whichever young quarterback gets the nod.
So on that front, I guess what's next in the football calendar, college football calendar?
I mean, at this point, we're kind of just getting to fall camp.
Yeah,
it's summer workouts and fall camp in Knoxville. It's getting deeper into this quarterback competition. It's interesting to hear Ramon talk about the upside that Faison Brandon brings with his legs. Certainly a bigger part of his game than George and what he does with that dual threat ability. And I just can't help but feel that even though there's nothing to say Faison Brandon is ahead of George McIntyre at this point, by all accounts, they are as neck and neck as it gets. But it's hard for me not to look ahead and think, if I had to predict, I'm predicting Faison Brandon to win this job.
You brought up Chaz Coleman with Ramon. I'm sorry, Robert. Did you have something?
Oh, my gosh. Your tone has just gotten so much better.
Well, I'm tired out now. It's beneficial for the two of you for me to do Fox in the morning like I am today and tomorrow, because I don't quite have the energy to fight the way that I normally would.
I agree with you in the way Ramon were talking about the quarterback conversation, where if it's all even – well, let's go with the guy with higher upside and the guy that potentially has more time to go here. But I wonder if you guys think about the school of thought of they could still transfer anyway, right? Like, even if you give Faison the job and he plays really well as a rookie, but then LSU or someone else comes calling, like, what's that versus just playing the best guy, period? Because I could see a world where Faison starts and then someone wants to back up a $15 million truck for him. But if you would start George McIntyre, what's the chance that he ever leaves?
I think just the place we are in college football at this point, there is an assumption that whoever loses the job is gone, right? Whoever loses the starting quarterback job is gone after fall. Like, I think
it's a natural assumption.
Yeah, we're in a place now where a player staying is more an outlier, right? I think that would be more of the surprising thing if McIntyre or Brandon lose the job and then stick around in 2027. But I don't know how much that can factor into your decision. Now, Adam Sparks kind of looked at it from an interesting perspective on Knox News. I'm sure we'll have Adam on at some point in the near future, because he posed the question, does Tennessee need a game manager or a playmaker? Is there a tangible difference? Is McIntyre more of a game manager or playmaker? And same question to Faison Brandon. And if one falls into the game manager category and the other falls into the more playmaker, high upside category, how does that factor into your decision? Are you just looking for somebody that can just spread the ball around? You've got a good crop of receivers coming back. Feel good about Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews and the continuity there. Are you simply looking for somebody that can keep things on track, put the ball into the hands of your playmakers? Or are you looking for somebody that can be more of a big play down the field, big play in the run game? Maybe he's going to miss some of the routine stuff, but will bring you the higher upside and the higher ceiling offensively. We'll see if it comes down to that, but it's an interesting question to pose with two players that have a little bit different profiles.
You also brought up Chaz Coleman with Ramon. This was the quote from Josh Heupel on Chaz Coleman's status. Yeah, ultimately, Chaz is dealing with some things off the field, and he's got to handle that, go through that process. We're here to help and support him in all of those ways, and we'll continue to do that, but that's ultimately the beginning of his journey right now, and there's some things he has to work with. A master, truly, of saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel.
That whole thing's been weird. But I am.
I mean, it's not quite as dramatic as we brought up Boo Carter and Nico. Like, at
No.
least it's not that big of a headache.
Where did Boo end up?
Colorado.
Oh, okay. Where everyone expected him to end up for the last year and a
The
half.
whole time.
Also, the videos of people making fun of Colorado coming out of the tunnel because they all look like a bunch of middle schoolers.
Oh, are they
Have
just
you-
all like
Have you
little?
seen that? They all look tiny
dude,
and scrawny. Like, do they not have a weight room?
I need Lucas to see this video if you haven't seen it yet because they look tiny.
We
Like,
can stall a little bit here. We
I'm
can go
seeing
a
it.
little over in this segment. Look at these football players coming out of this tunnel. Does that not? And listen, the Guardian caps do impact the helmet to shoulder pads ratio.
They're also short.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, are these just like how many? Do they just have like 20 running backs
no.
walking?
There's some of them are
The
linemen.
linemen too.
yeah, you see, at first I was like, oh, this is skill position. But then you see the linemen. It's like the linemen are as tall as the running back.
It looks like a high school football team.
Correct.
Oh man,
Not
interesting. Interesting year in Colorado
Fade
for
the Buffaloes.
Coach Prime.
Fade the Buffaloes.
They're going viral for just looking tiny.
Draft superlatives. We've got them coming up next.
11:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The 90th Masters at Augusta National came down to the wire, but Rory McIlroy outlasted a Sunday push from Scottie Scheffler, and he finished at 12 under to win the green jacket for a second straight year. McIlroy joins rarefied air, becoming the fourth to win back-to-back Masters in history, joining Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods. A report came out over the weekend that Miami defensive end and first-round draft prospect Rueben Bain Jr. was involved in a car accident back in 2024 in which a passenger later passed away. Multiple draft insiders have reported that this is not new news to NFL teams, and it is something that has been a part of the vetting process with Rueben Bain. Over the weekend, Nashville SC went on the road at Charlotte 2-1. Eddie Taxeth and Patrick Yazbek, the goal scorers. Nashville, top of the Eastern Conference. They head to Mexico City Tuesday night to face Club America in the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinal. And the Nashville Predators, 2-1 win over the Wild on Saturday, continued their push for the final wild card spot in the West, which is currently held by the LA Kings. The Preds are 1 point behind LA in that race. The Kings do have a game in hand. Nashville hosting the Sharks tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
We are 9 days from the NFL draft, which is always a crazy thing to say. Lucas thanking his lucky stars. Not only was Robert accosting him this weekend about his lack of interest in the draft, but theoretically in the F&M Bank chat, a.k.a. Lucas's buddy Jay. I should stop referring to him as just Lucas's buddy. Jay was very kind to invite us into his home on Friday night. We had a lovely time.
Oh, after slobbering all over ourselves Friday.
What?
Oh, you weren't there, I guess. Oh, you were there. You were there?
Where?
No, he wasn't with us when we had some crawdads.
Oh, I was just talking about how inebriated I was.
Oh, I thought you were talking about eating the crawfish.
No, the crawfish were incredible.
I didn't think you were that drunk. Were you?
I was
housed.
I was. Well, I think I had like 9 Frosties.
I thought you were very, very tame.
Yeah, for you,
Well,
I thought you were pretty well composed. Other than you threatening to fight the people that were on the pool table.
Well, they weren't, number one, they were just over there lollygagging, like trying to impress the women they were with. Like, oh, let me show you how to shoot the 8-ball, honey. Like, okay, make your shots and get the hell out of the way. People that actually like to play pool are trying to play. That was my biggest opposition. And you
It's like
guys,
golf, you got to keep it moving.
you guys put me at the babysitting table, like where we were at the establishment. Cheyenne was in between me and the conversation. So anytime I wanted to say something, I had to like lean over. Like, hey, you guys, did you see this thing happen the other day? And nobody could hear me. So I was upset about that.
We could hear you.
Oh, I'm sure. But I don't think you were really
How often did we
hearing
choose to
me.
acknowledge you? No, I heard
don't
you
think
plenty.
you were
Every time
really
you tried to
hearing me.
play this guessing game, essentially, would you rather is what you were trying to play. You tried to do it on your phone, and then nobody was paying attention to you, even though people were engaged in the conversation that your would you rather prompted. And then you said nobody's playing the game, even though we were all talking about the thing that you just gave us. Then you decided you wanted to do your own would you rathers, which was basically just you taking the game that was on your phone and trying to come up with more creative ones, in which you failed to do. So, yeah, not your best showing.
Well, we did find a game that everybody enjoyed playing once it got loud. Scream as loud as you can.
See if anybody hears you.
Did you play that game with us where we were
Did
just
I?
we were in line for drinks and would just go
No, I heard
just scream.
I heard you do it once, and it made me laugh, and I heard Lucas do it once, and it made me laugh.
We were in line.
I wasn't drinking, so I was just watching you idiots.
We were in line, and there are these 2 women sitting at the bar, like kind of in our way of getting drinks. And I got like right behind. I got right behind her and was just like. She turned around and said, "Will you please act your age?"
Somebody said
Oh, somebody said act your
She
age?
said, "Act your age." I was like, "You're right. I'm so sorry."
A 22-year-old at Lakeside Lounge told you to act your
And
age.
then as soon as she turned back around, I gave her another good old.
Oh, my goodness.
They were so mad. I mean, it's a place you literally can't hear anybody breathe, and then me hollering is just so offensive. Go somewhere. Go to the library, lady. If you want to drink quietly.
It went into, I felt it went well with the ambiance of Lakeside.
Next time you're out with your buddies in a loud bar, just scream as loud as you can. No one can hear you. No one cares.
I'm trying to find, like, what would objectively be the funniest bar to do that at? Because it's like Lakeside. It wasn't crowded when we got there. By the time we left, it was slammed. Right. I usually go to Mother's because it's close to my house.
Oh, if you scream
I feel like nobody would hear you.
If I scrummed in there, they would be so upset.
Past tense of scream.
They would. Yes.
Would they be?
I got kicked out of there for dropping that shot tray that one time. Remember when they were like, "No, your buddy's got to go."
No, I don't remember. The only time I remember anybody getting kicked out of Mother's is that girl fight that we witnessed.
Oh, that was incredible.
That cat fight.
There is nothing that will set my night off quicker than seeing a good old-fashioned bar fight.
One of the women we were there with, we came upstairs like, we just got kicked out for fighting. I was like, wait, what?
No, when they kicked me out for the shot tray, I had
pulling and lunging and other.
I had tried to put the shot tray away because I was going to forget that it was on my person and leave with it. And I guess that they saw me put it down and not give it back to the bar, and they were like, "No, he's got to go." So then they escorted me out.
Oh, I do remember that.
And then
this was like a big station night out. Like everybody was out. Like,
wasn't it like
Ramon
there was a ton
and
of
Keisha
people
were out with us.
Dude, we
Will
were,
and Peyton and it was like a bunch
I can't
of
remember
people.
what
Mother's.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
remember this.
We were outside at first. Outside.
Wait, was it my birthday?
I don't remember.
Oh man, I don't think that many people would have showed up.
Yeah, that would have been the least memorable part of it.
Sure.
But yeah, it was.
But I'm trying to think of why we would all be together at Mother's Ruin.
It was a rare outing where a few folks from the station were there. It was nice.
Anyway, I got kicked out and then just came in the back door and came back in. I'm back. Anybody got that shot tray? I think I've still got it.
The shot tray is my favorite party trick. It's always a good one. So anyway, we have draft superlatives to get to, but I don't know if we want to take a break early and spread our legs a little bit in the next segment because we got a bunch of things that we could talk about throughout the course of the show. So it's up to you guys. I mean, it's already 11:10.
We also have mock draft Monday at 11:20. So I mean, it's however you want to crunch these bad boys.
Let's just stay here and let's do some draft superlatives. So. Matt Bowen at ESPN always does great film analysis. He was Greg Cosell's longtime co-host on the ESPN Matchup Show. He's still doing write-ups and draft analysis and scheme analysis of free agents for ESPN.com. So he's put together his draft superlatives. Is there a position that we want to hyper-focus on in this draft superlatives? Because he's got positional traits and superlatives for every position, including special teams.
We can either do that or we can go to player dependent. Like if you want to know every award that Jeremiah Love won in this or every award that Ruben Bain won. I mean,
well, let's just go to let's do the running back one just out of curiosity, because Jeremiah Love, we'll talk more about Ruben Bain later. Jeremiah Love, he didn't get as many as I thought he was going to.
They did a good job spreading them out this year.
In the superlatives. Okay. So of the running back categories, you've got fastest rusher, most explosive, best short area burst, most powerful rusher, best contact balance, most sudden rusher, most elusive, best rushing vision and instincts, most decisive rusher, best ball.
You're going to be reading these forever.
Okay, you didn't tell me there was 9,000 best ball security as a ball carrier and best receiving back overall.
I think there are over 100 superlatives in this total
crazy.
article.
Like it's so specific.
Matt Bowen is very detailed.
Best
very,
O-line
very detailed.
quickness, best O-line handwork, best toe tapper for wide receivers, which he gave to Chris Brazzell. How about for another local one, most creative passer? Going to Diego Pavia.
Well, he has to be creative because his arm angle, and he's so close to the ground.
He's a slow guy. Got to make it happen.
Hey, buddy, what's going on? You trying to throw a pass?
What do you think? How do you think he would? Because we didn't talk about his sit down with Gruden. Did you guys watch that whole thing?
I did. I thought it was
really
electric.
good. It was really good.
Very entertaining. Like, though, you put those two together.
There was high quality stuff
Yeah, it
from
was.
John Gruden. So he's just doing like the quarterback room thing that he used to do at ESPN for Barstool now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can be like full, explicit, no holds barred.
And he was in this.
How about this?
The amount of spittle that comes out of that man's mouth when he's
Gruden?
talking about ACDC.
Oh, yeah. Top dual threat.
Shoot the thrill, man.
I love him. Top dual threat went to Haynes King out of Georgia Tech, but best scrambler went to Taylon Green out of Arkansas.
Well, yeah, but that makes sense. I mean, Taylon Green is leaps and
He's
bounds athletically above any other quarterback in this class.
He also gave toughest quarterback to Haynes.
Yeah, Haynes King, man. People love Haynes King.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Like he's an absolute.
I don't play chess, but I know a king when I see one.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
There's a pity laugh.
No.
But back to Jeremiah Love, he got a number of superlatives, but I think the ones that would matter the most to Titans fans. We know he's an explosive rusher. We know he's a sudden rusher. But the things that make him special are what he does outside of the rush. He was named best receiving back, where Matt Bowen says Love had 55 receptions and 5 touchdowns over the past 5 seasons. His route tree will expand as a pro. Love is viewed as a playmaker in the league, similar to Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. I think that's important, but not to be understated by the next superlative he was given. Best pass protecting back. Love's pass blocking ability adds to his 3-down profile in the NFL. He had 109 pass blocking reps over the past 2 seasons and only surrendered a singular pressure.
But that's also saying something that we kind of already knew, right? Jeremiah Love is the best and most complete running back in this draft by a very wide margin.
But to have it quantified like that, like where you can see every intricate part of what it is to be a running back and all the different skill sets or skills that you can have and how many things can be named. And he got named the most explosive rusher, the most sudden rusher, the best receiving back, and the best pass protecting back.
So is the only superlative for a running back he did not get this one, best ball security?
No, there's
as a ball
number of
carrier.
There's
Okay.
about 755 of
Because
these.
the ball security went to Jonah Coleman out of Washington.
So the ones that he did not get, and I'll make this quick: fastest rusher, best short area burst, most powerful rusher, best contact balance, most elusive rusher, best rushing vision and instincts, which did not go to him, but his Notre Dame teammate, Jadarian Price, most decisive rusher, best ball security, as you noted, went to Jonah Coleman, but every other category went to Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, so he had the most amount of superlatives of the running backs, but he did not top out in every single category.
I'm looking for class clown or ugliest or most likely to be involved in.
They're all complimentary.
Yeah, none of these are bad. Like worst smile. Like who's got a snaggletooth in this draft?
Best for the 2 Tennessee corners that are hoping to go in the first round. Best cornerback in run support went to Colton Hood. Most physical in coverage went to Colton Hood. And best DB closing speed went to Jermod McCoy. His 40 the other day at Pro Day. Pretty important to that.
All right, we will get into the latest iteration of Mock Draft Monday coming up next. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Their experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years. They're family-owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time so you don't waste time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller promise, so visit them online today and book with ease at happyhiller.com.
draft day, 'cause that's my fun day. My I don't have to mock day. It's just another mock draft Monday.
10 days. 10 days until we have names called, until the clock shrinks from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. And the 2026 NFL Draft gets underway in Pittsburgh. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So each and every Monday, Jim Wyatt of TennesseeTitans.com diligently gathers all sorts of mock drafts. And he pulls what draft analysts from across the country, from television, newspaper, digital outlets, think the Titans will do with the number 4 overall pick. He polled 30 draft analysts for his most recent mock draft roundup. This is 7.0 of Jim Wyatt's offseason mock draft roundup. So it is always interesting to watch kind of the evolution of what the consensus is around the Titans in this year that happens to be the number 4 overall pick, where there is a plethora of possibilities. So to start, I will tell you guys that there are 7 total different players in this roundup. Most commonly mocked player to the Titans is who?
I'm going to say Jeremiah Love still.
How many? What's your guess? Out of 30.
Out of 30,
Ranging
I will
from
say
Charles Davis to locally with Nick Suss and Colin Coward and everyone in between.
Yeah, you know mock drafts are good if Coward's doing them. 8. I'll say 8 Jeremiah Loves.
Bert?
I'll go 12.
14 out of the 30.
God.
Just under 50% are mocking Jeremiah Love to the Titans at
How
4.
many of them are credible? How many of those 14 are credible?
Yes, go through the
Yeah,
list.
let me hear the names, these 30, because I can't think of 30 people doing mock drafts, much less 30 credible people.
Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah,
Credible.
Peter Schrager,
Yes.
Matt Miller,
Yes.
Jacob Kamenker of USA Today.
Oh, yes, know him well.
K-Menker? I'm not sure.
You're being
Facetious, yes.
Colin Coward. Josh Edwards of CBS Sports.
No.
Luke Easterling of Athlon Sports.
I've heard of Lucas.
Just because you've heard of these people or haven't heard of these people doesn't have to be the line between credible and not credible.
I think it does.
Tyler Ertzberger of Newsweek.
Not credible.
Rhett Lewis of NFL.com. Tyler Dragon of USA Today.
Oh,
Wow,
stop it.
That's awesome.
Is it
Credibility
spelled like,
based on the name.
Is it
It's
spelled, what's
spelled
his first name?
Tyler. T Dragon. Nick Wright of Fox Sports. Nate Davis of USA Today. Bucky Brooks of NFL.com. That's the list of folks that have mocked Jeremiah Love to the Titans. Who is the second most mocked player to the Titans in Jim Wyatt's most recent mock draft roundup?
Ooh, this one's a
I
good
guess first.
question.
You want to guess this one?
I will go. Oh, this one's tough. Let's go. People being a little hopeful. Let's go David Bailey.
Okay. Now, this came out this morning, so shortly after the Rueben Bain news dropped. Now, I don't know how old some of these mock drafts are
Still
that
Rueben Bain.
Jimmy's pulling from. But are you going to guess Rueben Bain?
No, but you just gave away the game.
No, it's David Bailey.
Oh, okay.
It's David Bailey. 6 out of the 30 mocked David Bailey to the Titans. Rueben Bain, only 3 out of the 30 mocked to the Titans.
Name them. Who did that?
Yeah, those people, I think, may.
They need to be, if I'm using a master's term, cut with the chaff.
Vinny Iyer
No.
He is drawing my ire.
of Sporting News. Jacob Infante of Pro Football Network.
What does that
name, but
mean
no.
in Italian?
Infante?
Infant?
Could be infant, just a name. Todd McShay.
Oh, go ahead and say something about your beloved McShay. Go ahead.
What's the next part of
Who
it?
joins us Wednesday, by the way.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited about Todd coming on. I cannot
Will
wait
you
to see
question
him.
his credibility in front of his face, or will
never.
you just drag him on the front end, assuming that, no, of course, somebody credible and insightful and aware of the Ruben Bain situation would not mock
In this
Ruben Bain with
house,
the 4th overall pick.
in my house, we serve the Lord, and that's Todd.
Todd McShay.
The one and only Todd.
Has mocked Ruben Bain to the Titans very recently. Okay. Sonny Styles. 3 out of the 30 mock Sonny Styles to the Titans.
That number should be bigger.
Is that
2.
Teron Davenport?
TD is not featured in this particular
I don't
mock.
think Tehran does mock drafts.
Huh.
Now, Jim also does just a wide Titans media one where he goes into every corner, no stone left unturned.
Robert got so excited last year because Jimmy, it's the first year that Jimmy asked me for Robert's pick, and Robert was like, Jim Wyatt cares what I think about the Titans pick?
Didn't you? What did you give him?
Oh, something. Willie Lampkin.
Willie Lampkin.
Yeah, I got to figure out who my goober this year to feed Jim Wyatt is.
And I also told Robert that people like Rich Ferris in our promotions department get to submit a mock draft pick, and then he was very disappointed by that.
Sonny Styles, 3 out of the 30 mocked Sonny Styles to the Titans. 2 out of the 30 mocked Carnell Tate, one of them being Nick Suss from the Tennessean. The other one, who was the other one to mock Tate? It was Destin Adams of A to Z Sports. And
the Colts reporter.
Okay.
Arvell Reese got 1 out of the 30. Stephen Chea from Barstool, so take that for what you will. Did I say his name right?
Who?
Stephen Shea.
Shea.
Should I know that person?
He's a robot.
Actually?
Yep.
Like Dov Kleinman robot, or like
no?
what,
Just
what are we talking about?
he has like an android body. Like
so he's like Darren Ravel. Like he's a real person, but he should be AI?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the Barstool guys.
Okay, very good.
And then, how about this for outside of the box? At the number 4 overall pick, according to Rob Rang of Fox Sports,
I know that name.
the Titans select Vega Ioane, the offensive lineman, the guard out of Penn State.
Oh, my God.
Who is
Good
thought
player.
of as the best offensive lineman in this class, but Rob Rang needs to hang it up.
Vega Ioane.
Thought you were going to say rang it up.
Nope. Hang it up. You know, because like you rang, Rob rang, you called. I didn't pick up. Straight to voicemail. Rob rang.
So there you go. There's Jim's mock draft roundup. An overwhelming Jeremiah Love wave of predictions for the Titans at 4, followed by David Bailey.
I feel like we need to, just because of recent drafts and how things have gone over the last couple of years for the Titans, I feel like we need to have a segment about break in case of glass. Like, if Jeremiah Love
We did the Sonny Styles stuff, and they got pissed at us.
No, well, okay. If you don't think they're going to enjoy it, we shouldn't do it. But history would say that the Titans whoever they want is going to go one pick.
No,
in
not
front
whoever
of
they want. Whoever the fans want is who is going to be selected before or immediately after.
So in this case, I guess that would be Love to the Cardinals or something.
Love to the Cardinals or love to the Giants?
Cowboys trade up to 3.
Lock it in.
Well, the Giants have the 5th pick, so that wouldn't.
Right, what I'm saying, before or after.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like the Titans could take Jeremiah Love, but if they took Sonny Styles again, what do you think the fan base would do? At least a portion of the online fan base would melt the hell down.
Or Vega Ioane.
That would be delightful. I'm actively rooting for Rob Rang to be right, just for the purposes of entertainment.
All-American.
Even though that would be a disaster for the install. If they draft a guard at 4, I'm going to be pissed.
All-American guard.
No, he's a good player.
Hey, they could use him.
Really good player. Sure, you're right. You are not incorrect in what you've just said. So, I mean, just generally, how are we feeling, gut feeling with the information, the context that we've had? Obviously, the Rueben Bain story in the middle of this does factor in some. But to that, just quickly, because we can talk more about the details of that, and I think he should just be off the Titans draft board generally, but we can get into the reasons for that later on in the show. If teams were going to drop Rueben Bain for this reported incident from 2 years ago, it's already happened. So if you see Rueben Bain fall when we get to draft night, it's not because of something that happened on draft night or just because of the arm thing. It's because teams have known about the wreck and the death as a result of the wreck for one of the passengers in Rueben Bain's car for several months at minimum. So
it's the first real off-field troubling story to pop up, right, for any of these day one guys?
Yeah, that I can think of. We didn't have much controversy at the Combine this year, right? It was mostly about him and his arm length at the Combine.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably been the most controversial thing for any of these guys.
Lemon, just the weird behavior at the podium. Got a little bit of run, but I don't know. How much are you going to read into that?
The other big question we had was Jermon McCoy, who answered that at his pro day. Like, a lot of the questions have been answered for this class.
Tyler on the FNM Bank chat says...
Oh, your boy Simpson.
Ty Simpson?
Yeah, just as a talking point.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But like nothing that
nothing
he
off the
did
field.
or off the field.
No.
Tyler says Bain is going to be nasty in Philly next to Jalen Carter. I mean, that just feels like the order of things now, right? Player drops.
Robert wants him at 14.
Due to an off-field incident, Philadelphia scoops him up.
You're mischaracterizing my quote. That's not what I said. I said I would not take him before 14.
Who picks 14?
The Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens.
Let me double check. Oh, it's the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, I just think the precedent and history of how things happen, I wouldn't feel good about taking him with a top 13 pick.
Okay.
That's just how I look at it. And if any NFL GMs are listening, take heed. Take heed. You don't want to be like, Rob Rang.
You better heed.
Somebody said on YouTube that he's a felon, so he's a Raider. Well, he's not a felon.
Not at all.
He hasn't been charged with anything, technically, and you can read into the veracity of that however you want to, because I do think there is some reason to doubt the level of policing that was actually done around the Rueben Bain situation, based on the reporting that has been done. But also, have you seen the Raiders roster lately? They're pretty squeaky clean. Like, Max Crosby has tattoos, and that's about the extent of the Raider behavior that you have. Like, that Max Crosby's a former addict and has tattoos, but is an excellent football player. There's not really any bad blood Raiders on the Raiders roster anymore. Anyway, Robert also brought something to our attention respective to mock drafts, because Daniel Jeremiah, is this his last mock draft?
His final mock draft will be coming out, and he shared his top 10 prospects in his mock draft, or at least who he thinks will go in the top 10 picks with Rich Eisen last night.
Would you like to? Rich Eisen, who did a hosted a Sports Center for the first time since Rich Eisen was regularly hosting Sports Center, right? This was his first. No, he did a Stuart Scott tribute Sports Center, I believe.
I think you're correct.
I think that's right.
But why this is important?
That was awesome, by the way. The
It was
throwback.
incredible.
I didn't stay up late because it was 11 p.m. Central, right? That he did it. I didn't stay up to watch.
Just
it.
all vibes, just like total old school Sports Center vibes.
It was awesome.
Because they brought back all the like graphics from the early
music,
2000s.
The only thing it was missing would be the commercials. Like, I wish that every time they went to break, they had like one of those ESPN Office promos that played.
Well, this is Sports Center,
Right.
Yeah.
I wish they would have plugged those in or cut some new ones, but I digress. Daniel Jeremiah released his top 10 picks on the final mock with Rich Eisen last night. Why this is important, Daniel Jeremiah is one of the most plugged-in draft insiders that we have. So there are either nuggets you can take for this or positioning you can glean. There's always little nuggets, little whispers of truth inside of every mock draft that someone that with this much know does. Number 1 overall, Fernando Mendoza, no surprise there. David Bailey at 2 to the Jets. That's becoming more of the norm the closer we get to the draft. 3, Cardinals take Francis Maui-Noah. I feel like that's a little bit more of a regression back to what it was a couple of weeks ago. They're no longer tinkering with what multiple defender or a different tackle here. That sticks. The Titans at 4. He has Arvell Reese going off the board.
So, walk me through the first 3 picks again.
Fernando Mendoza at 1. Texas Tech's David Bailey at 2.
Yep.
Miami's Francis Maui-Noah at 3.
Okay.
He has Arvell Reese coming off the board at 4 to the Titans. You want me to go through the full top 10, or do you want to break that down?
I don't like that pick with who's still on the board. Because here's my thing generally for this year's draft. They have to minimize risk as much as humanly possible. And I'm not saying that you can go about the draft process entirely being risk averse, that you should never take any chances in the draft. That's not a feasible way of doing business. It's not realistic. But they have to have as few doubts about the player that they select with that 4th overall pick, or frankly, wherever they end up picking in the first round, if they get a trade offer that they feel is viable, whomever they select in the first round. Who is the last first rounder other than Skoronski that this team has gotten definitively right?
The last what this team has gotten?
The last first round pick that the Tennessee Titans have gotten definitively right. Cam TBD. Cam too soon.
Yeah.
He was the right pick to make at the time, but I agree with you.
He is the correct position. I understand why they did what they did. There's no reason to push back on that. I'm just saying Cam Ward is anything but a proven commodity.
Yeah, like
right
the
now.
jury's out on Cam Ward as a franchise quarterback, of course.
I don't think that JC's a sure thing.
No. Yeah, it's hard to say that going into year 3.
By any stretch of the imagination. Traylon was the year before Skoronski.
Yeah. I mean, Skoronski is a good player. You got a good player that's going to get a second contract.
He might be great.
We expect. Yeah. So the question there, of course, is about positional value, and there is some discussion there.
So it's Jeff.
The slam dunk.
Obviously, they got that right.
Yeah.
It's Jeff and Skoronski. They cannot have any kind of potential risk. And I don't say that Arvell Reese is a potential risk. But I do think that if he can do 2 jobs well enough and is a talented enough player, that you can project him to do 2 different positions in the NFL. And the fact that your head coach is a defensive-minded head coach, if they were to make that pick, you would have to, at least in the first year of Robert Saleh, I'm not saying that you have to implicitly trust that he would get that right, but you have to give him the benefit of the doubt before he shows you any reasons to think one way or the other, right? But everything, and Robert, you'll tell me if I'm off on this, everything that I read about Arvell Reese is that he's a tick late in 2 categories. One, he's a tick late in getting off the ball, and he's a tick late in recognition. Those seem like pretty critical qualities to have as any kind of thing that's not a coachable correction, right? I mean, recognition can be learned and improved and prepared, your level of preparation and your level of intimate knowledge in the system. But I'm just saying, is there any kind of Ruben Bain's extenuating circumstances are his arm, his arm length, right? Is there any reason to think that him being a tick late in recognition and a tick late getting off the ball would be enough to say, no, give me a sure thing in Jeremiah Love or Sonny Styles or even Carnell Tate before you took Arvell Reese?
I'll say this about Reese. I think get off can be fixed. He's explosive. That's mechanics to me. That can be fixed.
Okay.
Recognition, I think that's time on task. That's how long you've been doing it. And he just hasn't been playing edge rusher to know what other tackles' plans would be against him because he probably doesn't even know what his plan is yet. Like a fully fledged plan. I mean,
would he be definitively an edge here?
Definitively an edge.
I don't think we know that.
Is the best part, or is the biggest question about it. But I'll give you this. Scott Goldman from AIQ, which is kind of like the new metric for intelligence and IQ testing going into the NFL draft, like a Wonderlic, if you will, was on Todd McShay's podcast. And they reached out to agents of particular players with permission to divulge their testing results. And Arvell Reese the results showed that he was one of the smartest, most easiest to pick up things players in this entire draft. He played for Matt Patricia at Ohio State, who throws a lot of stuff at his defenders. I think the intelligence factor, the experience with an experienced defensive coordinator factor, that would be the upside portion of this. Now, what you're labeling are the questions, the inexperience. There's going to be downsides and upsides to any player. I think his are just more polarizing because of how high the heights could be and how low the depths also could be.
I don't think you can do the job this way. So I acknowledge that what I'm saying is flawed. But I want them to have as minimal risk with their first-round pick as humanly possible. They have to nail this draft, regardless of what round we're talking about. But I almost don't want them to forsake proven commodity, even if the player has a lower ceiling potentially than Arvell Reese, because I've talked about this. I'm so tired of bitching about players that don't live up to their potential.
You guys want to keep talking about this top 10? I think it's interesting. We haven't even got through the ass end of his top 10, and there are some crazy nuggets, including where Jeremiah Love does go in this upcoming.
Next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So, as a part of our regular Mock Draft Monday proceedings, do we only have one more Mock Draft Monday before the actual draft proper?
That's correct.
Spicy. We have Todd McShay on the show on Wednesday. We're going to get Trevor Sikkema on either this week or draft week, so we'll look forward to having some conversations with Trevor, one of the most dialed-in draft analysts that's out there. Also, we're having, who else, Robert? Who else have you got booked for the pre- and then draft week and then post-draft fallout?
Post-draft, we will have Todd McShay's co-host Minch on to talk about the classes, what he liked, what he didn't like, upside, downside, every which way aside. Love Minch. If you're unfamiliar with his work, he's been writing ESPN profiles since before Nom. Like, anytime you go to their website and read about a player, their odds are that either him, Zerline, one of those guys wrote it. Super in the know. Excited to have him on. Love to listen to his opinions when Todd shuts up and gives him some space.
It's a good podcast.
It's an incredible podcast. Also, the new website they put out with their mock, their top 100.
I need to look at that.
It is so clean. I also like a little addition they have is when a player's like movement metrics or their stats in college is an indicator of success in the NFL, it will have a little McShay report stamp beside it so you can see where their success indicators are.
So we were just discussing as a part of the Mock Draft Monday festivities that Daniel Jeremiah, as a part of his final mock draft, the lead and draft analyst for, well, I guess it's still technically NFL Network, but he's an ESPN employee now. So however you want to categorize that. One of the best draft analysts out there, no matter who the network is. He debuted the top 10 of his final mock draft on SportsCenter with Rich Eisen last night, which was, I'm sure, enjoyable for a lot of people. I didn't stay up late enough to watch it, so that's on me. But we went through the top 5. No, I'm sorry, we did the top 4 because at 4, Daniel Jeremiah has Arvell Reese from Ohio State going with Jeremiah Love, still on the board, with Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain, Sonny Styles. Who else would be notable there?
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs, okay. So we haven't really talked about Caleb Downs and the Titans at 4, but still, the first time, or one of the few times you've seen Arvell Reese projected to the Titans. So what else does the top 10, so picks 5 through 10, have that you were interested in, Robert?
Right. Next up is John Harbaugh and the Giants. He has them penciled in to take Sonny Styles, which I think as soon as the combine happened, I said to you guys, that would be the most quintessential John Harbaugh draft pick of all time to take Sonny Styles there. A lesser thought of position in a top 5 pick, but the guy has athletic prowess. He has experience on the field. He was thought of as a great linebacker before the combine, and then after the combine, everyone blew their whole load talking about him. So Sonny Styles at 5 makes a whole lot of sense for John Harbaugh and the Giants. I think that is spot on, and that would show you who actually has the shot calling ability in New York. Is it John Harbaugh or is it their pre-fired general manager?
Harbaugh.
It's Harbaugh. At 6, this is the first real shakeup, and I can't believe he went that high here. The Browns. And when you think about the Browns mock draft picks in the last couple of months, it's been Carnell Tate. We heard whispers that Caden Proctor, but it has always been a tackle or a wide receiver. He goes with the same theme, but a name you have not really seen mocked there. He has the second tackle off the board being Spencer Fano out of Utah.
Okay.
Who extremely athletic offensive lineman, but people think that he is going to have to play inside. But the Cleveland Browns don't care in this situation. They want athletic upside. They go Spencer Fano at 6. That's interesting to me, considering the number of tackles that are expected to be drafted in the first round. I think the Cleveland Browns also have pick number 24.
They basically lost their whole offensive line, though, this offseason.
Yeah, they did. And they also
made last year's starting offensive line.
They made a lot of acquisitions, trading for Titus Howard out of Houston, adding another a bunch of Island of Misfit Toys offensive linemen. Adding him would be a good thing for him.
Usually works.
Maybe not necessarily in the way that they want.
Dennis Daly on the Browns? I'm kidding.
I was trying to figure out. I was
Island of Misfit Toys makes me think of Dillard and Daly and That era of Titans offensive line play.
God, that would be a terrible gas station.
Dylan Radins.
Pulling it. God, we got to go to Dillard and Daly, baby. Hold on, I got to pick up some.
Well,
Daly has not been on an NFL team in 2 years.
Wow. It was Arizona.
Oh, yeah, he announced his retirement in 2025.
Thank God.
He's selling insurance.
Quarterbacks everywhere breathing a sigh of relief.
At 7, he has his first trade. He generally does not do trades in his mocks, but felt confident enough to put this one in here. Trade up with the Commanders. The Jets would give up their second-round pick, which is pick 44, a fourth-round pick, and the 16th overall pick to come up to 7 to take Carnell Tate. And why, I'm using my Brian Windhorst fingers, why would that be the case? Talked a lot about it, people trading up and down. The Jets pick at 16. Maybe they didn't think that Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon would be there.
Wide receiver room for Washington other than Terry McLaurin is what right now?
Traylon Burks.
Luke McCaffrey, Diami Brown.
No, Diami Brown is in Jacksonville, isn't he?
He re-signed with the Commanders this offseason.
Oh, he went back?
I believe so.
The Caleb Farley killer, Diami Brown.
Guy, you want to talk about a beat-down wide receiver room? That is a beat-down wide receiver
Some
room.
of the wide receiver rooms that are out there right now, like whatever you think of the Titans wide receiver rooms, they may not be bottom 5 based on what like New England and Washington and these other places look like.
Add a lot of dudes, but the Jets giving up major capital to come up from 16 to 7. Commanders fall back to 16. We don't know their pick yet. His mock draft is expected to be released. I don't know if it's this week or the week. I think it's the week of the draft that he releases his final mock. But to pick 8, where the Saints take another wide receiver, Jordan Tyson. This is the second insider in the last 2 weeks that has put Jordan Tyson in the top 10 of their mocks. I don't think that can be understated, especially with the injury concerns. This was a guy that had his toughness questioned in the last couple weeks. His toughness questioned, by the way, by Daniel Jeremiah on a podcast with Mina Kimes.
Yep.
He has him going 8th to the Saints. Schrager last week had him going 9 to the Chiefs. So Jordan Tyson's stock, at least among draft pundits, is on the rise.
Just how much of the how comfortable are you with the medicals, right? That's really what it boils down to because he's obviously talented. Is he? I mean, he is more talented than Lemon or Tate, higher ceiling player.
Agreed. Yeah, if all things were equal and injuries were not a concern, he would probably be a top 5 pick if he was just far and away like healthy and no injury concerns.
Jack on YouTube says Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson is a wide receiver room made of glass. That'd be tough.
It would be tough, but what if they Chris Olave doesn't get more concussions and Jordan Tyson doesn't get hurt?
Jack also suggests that you guys force me to be a Raiders fan this year since Mendoza is going to be their quarterback. I'll root for the Raiders. Sure.
You can be a Raiders fan.
Why not?
Chiefs at 9.
I don't imagine it's a bandwagon many people are jumping on.
Chiefs at 9. The Chiefs are famously, if you listen to any of the pundits, whether you're listening to Trevor Sycamore, Todd, anybody, the Chiefs are the hardest team to nail down because where everyone else thinks that they zig, they are going to zag. He has Jeremiah Love falling to 9 to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
So, and I understand thinking that. They just signed Kenneth Walker. Why would they do this? Why? Brian Windhorst fingers again. Why? He signed a 3-year deal.
Sure.
If you wanted to turn your biggest weakness into your biggest strength.
And their offensive line is good.
We know that Kenneth Walker can split carries. He did so in Seattle.
In fact, it's preferable.
You would keep both of these guys fresh, and the Kansas City Chiefs would have an elite run game to pair with Patrick Mahomes. If this was the case.
For the sake of the NFL, we cannot let this happen.
Interstellar. No, please, God, no.
No way in hell.
Walter White in the back of that SUV. No, Jesse, no, please. This would be.
Can you imagine?
It starts to seem more like a good idea.
Josh Allen would throw his hands up in the air and be like, "Why do I even bother? Like, what's the? Did I just kill Brett Kern's bobblehead?
No, he's all right.
He just leaning. He got a little lean on him.
Slammed the table too hard.
But if you look at who's on the board at this point, like all of the higher upside offensive players are gone. Carnell Tate gone. Jordan Tyson gone. The tackle's gone.
Quick, Lucas, who won the World Cup in 1954?
Oh, 54. Let's see. It was Brazil or Uruguay in 50. Oh, 54. I may be stumped.
No, give
Is
him
it,
time.
is it Germany? West Germany?
Robert will fact check for us.
You don't even have it?
No, the chat threw it in there. So I just.
Oh, you can't stump the Schwab. It was West Germany's first title.
No.
First title. Thank you.
Well, you said Germany, not West
No,
Germany.
he
I
just
said
he
West.
said West Germany.
Okay.
They were West Germany until the 90s.
You're sick.
You're an animal.
Truly sick.
To move on
60 days?
and round out the top 10,
Yeah.
the Bengals taking Caleb Downs. The interesting part of this,
Okay.
Jordan, McCoy and Mansour Delane fall out of the top 10. No cornerback selected. That's big.
In the top 10.
In the top, well, no, at all. He has no cornerback selected in the entire NFL draft. He just says that it's going to be a foregone position.
Ever again.
Yeah, none of them in the top 10, which I think would be a huge surprise. I would be more surprised if that happened than if
That would probably push down McCoy and Hood.
So who else has corner needs besides the Titans?
in the top
The
10
Chiefs.
strictly. The Chiefs need help.
The Chiefs need help.
Bengals need help.
Yeah.
The Dolphins at 11 need help. The Cowboys at 12
Just
need
in the
help.
top 10, though.
Okay, I'll refrain.
I know you're excited, buddy.
I'm so excited.
9
The
more days.
Jets need help. The Browns need help. I mean, a lot of the teams in the top 10 need secondary help. The Jets no longer have Sauce Gardner.
We can continue talking about the NFL draft and the possibility of these prospects. We'll also circle back to the Ruben Bain story. And, frankly, an update that I think is worth getting into in the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini saga. The final hour is next.
12:02, good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Masters at Augusta National came down to the wire, but Rory McIlroy outlasted a Sunday push from multiple golfers, including Scottie Scheffler, as Rory finished at 12 under to win a green jacket for a second consecutive year. He joins a list that right now only includes 4 to win back-to-back Masters: Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods, and now Rory McIlroy. A report came out over the weekend that Miami defensive end and first-round draft prospect Rueben Bain Jr. was involved in a car accident in 2024 in which a passenger later passed away. Multiple draft insiders have reported that this is not news to NFL teams who have been vetting this during the Rueben Bain pre-draft process. Over the weekend, Nashville SC won on the road at Charlotte 2-1. They remain at the top of the Eastern Conference, heading to Mexico City Tuesday night to face Club America in the CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinal. And the Nashville Predators won over the weekend as well over Minnesota. They continue their push for that last wild card spot in the West. That is currently held by the Kings. Preds are 1 point back. L.A. does have a game in hand. Nashville hosts the San Jose Sharks tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop at 7. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour upon us on this Monday. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you're staying dry. Sounds like we're getting some much-needed rain in the forecast throughout the course of the day. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate. You are welcome to do so at any point. F&M Bank Chat also is where you can comment throughout the course of the show. Speaking of the chat and speaking of the draft, because the NFL draft is 9 days away, Robert will do me a favor and put the live show ticket link for the install with Greg Cosell in the YouTube chat for those of you who have not purchased your tickets yet. We have about a third of our inventory gone at this point in time. We have not yet announced special guests. Like I always remind you, get your tickets before we announce the guests, not just because I want you to buy these tickets for a good cause, for the Home Street Home charity, but because when we do announce guests, those tickets tend to evaporate overnight. So, don't say I didn't warn you. In the meantime, I want to talk about the idea of a draft night trade and what that might look like, what possibilities are still out there for a team like the Titans. How many players in this draft class, in the top 4, let's say, do you think are worthy for trading up, or that would be worthy of a trade up just in a vacuum? That you could say on face value, if you wanted to get the best edge rusher. We're assuming that Vegas is not going to entertain trade offers for Fernando Mendoza, or at least not seriously entertain offers for Fernando Mendoza the way that the Titans did take calls last year, but did not seriously consider taking the Giants' offer. So let's say everybody but Mendoza at the top of the draft, how many players do we genuinely consider in a vacuum are worth trading up for? I would say David Bailey is one. Best edge player on the board. I don't know if that's consensus, but I think he's the best edge player in the class.
Are you strictly talking about this in terms of trading up to number 4, or just any player in this class worth trading up for?
Well, let's just talk about possibilities. Like, who could you be coming up to get that would be feasibly available, still available at 4? David Bailey, it sounds like the closer we get to this, the more it sounds like the Jets are going to take David Bailey. So maybe I should even not entertain the idea of David Bailey.
And just to play devil's advocate, in terms of draft smoke, that would make the most sense because he is the player that is worth trading up for. So if the Jets are going, yeah, we want him at 2, that's only going to drum up business for people that would go, okay, if he's going 2, like, what's your price to come off of him? And would in turn drum up business for a potential trade up to 2 if they would like to do that. Atwell.
Is Sonny Styles worth trading up for?
I got it, Bert.
Thanks. Trade up 2-2. Atwell.
Yeah, I know. You threw a player's last name in there.
It got Lucas to chuckle.
It gave Lucas a coughing fit, which he told us on Friday that he just randomly gets coughing fits.
It's always been the case for me. Some randomly I'll breathe wrong and then just be like a pile of myself just coughing.
Yeah,
Does
you
that
were
ever
like
happen to you guys?
You were like one of these new dogs, like a golden doodle. Like, yeah, sometimes he just sneezes and can't stop. Like, you just have so many issues with your body.
Something that's genetically
I'm perfectly
bred,
healthy.
bred in a lab. No, you're not. You go play soccer and you come back with 7 different injuries.
I have a bruised rib.
No, he changed it to a cracked rib, and then he tried to sell us on the idea that he has a contusion, which is just a bruise.
Oh, he's doubtful now.
It's just a bruise.
I contused my IT band, but it's feeling okay.
Contused.
I went to the dentist last week too. No cavities.
That's great.
I've
Good
never
job.
had a cavity.
Yeah, me either. Don't eat a lot of sweets, though. But you seem like a guy who's pretty good about brushing his teeth.
You just shoved your hand in a whole cheesecake last night and then shoveled it in your face whilst you slept.
didn't say I eat a lot of them.
Not
They
much
just,
of a sweet tooth.
I genuinely am more of a savory guy than a sweet guy.
I take that on face value. Yes, I believe that is accurate. When you are awake, you don't tend to. I probably have the biggest sweet tooth of the 3 of us, if I had to guess.
Oh my gosh, guys.
What?
I was just given the holy grail of draft prep. If you guys aren't familiar out there in the
Somebody
audience.
print out the beast again.
No.
That's so unnecessary.
No, it's better than the beast.
Okay.
I have in my hands the draft guide for stacking the inbox.
Oh.
Stony and Zach's entire draft prep. I'm showing it on Zone TV. Look at this book. Look at the thickness.
goodness.
Does that have a cover?
Printed in color.
Oh.
Damn.
Does it have like an actual spine?
This is a real
legit book.
hardcover book. This will be my Bible.
Are you selling these? Zach, turn his microphone on.
I got you. Hold on, Zach. They want to talk to you about your
Give
magnificent
him your
work.
headphones. All
Also,
right.
I think we're going to have Zach on Friday to talk about the draft guide and
That would be
the
lovely.
draft.
We don't do that enough.
Zach Lyons of Cover 2 and Football and Other F Words joining us.
Way to
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you selling this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, where can people
But
buy
he's
it?
free.
No, make him pay for it. Are you kidding me?
No, we talk too much draft stuff for me and Stony to charge him.
How much?
Okay, so you can get a subscription to our newsletter, stackingtheinbox.com or stackingtheinbox.substack.com, or go to that website, click on the article about the draft guide, and you can buy it for $20.
$20.
$20 pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Got 190 full color pages, multiple.
Full color. You took this thing to a printer?
No, Canva prints it for you.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And we'll be giving one per round out at the Football and Other F Words draft party.
Hey.
See, and it's great. It's not just for pre-draft. It's for you to learn about the players the Titans collect during the draft.
We got big boards on here. We have our Titans fit ratings. We got all the quarterbacks, everything listed by position.
So it's like Titans, pretty Titans.
It's a Titans
It is-
centric?
It is Titans-centric.
So
Oh,
perfect for the
okay.
Titans
Yeah.
fan.
So,
Wow.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Overall, you're ranking the prospects based off of, the actual tape. But we also discuss specific Titans fits in here inside the analysis that me and Stoney do. We also have data about Titans fit ratings. So, taking the decision makers' exposure to the draft process over the years that they've been in the draft room of various teams. They build out, how they said, we really like our corners 6 feet, right? So we take all that data, or I do. I take all that data, kind of average it out, put it through some standard deviation, some math, boring Google Sheet stuff.
Subtle shock, Stoney, by the way.
Yeah, come out
said
with
I
fit
do.
ratings. So, these fit ratings are basically last year, Chimere DK was a 92 out of 100 fit rating. He ended up getting drafted by the Titans. It's not to predict NFL success. It's to predict, hey, these guys are probably high on the Titans board, higher than you
Man,
think.
look at you guys showing some receipts.
Yeah.
Who contributes more work to it? You or Stoney?
Stony, I would say. I mean, I've pretty much the stuff I do is the data side, like I just talked about for every prospect. And then I design the guide. But that stuff right now is just pretty much on autopilot. So Stoney does way more work. I did maybe 11 to 15 of the 288 prospects, written out. He does the rest. I pick up the slack later at the end on that.
Okay, very good.
There you go.
You can check it out at the Substack. You can go find it on Zach or Stoney's social media.
The cool thing I like just in flipping through it,
You should have to pay.
Well, I don't because I'm Big Boss Bert, and two, me and Stony have something going on that you guys will never understand.
If they don't give him a free copy, he will fire them.
The thing I like about this is in their player breakdowns, like every player, I think it's in the top 100, gets a big sheet and a big write-up at the bottom. If you were ever curious about what games, he has the games that he watched for each prospect. Also in the top, he has different charts to measure the different points of their game. So some player may be rated on a physicality scale or their hands, or it'll tell you what their best attributes are at the top and where that ranks out of 100 scale. So if you're a Titans fan that likes to be in the know and likes to know what you're talking about with your friends at draft parties, the Stacking the Inbox draft guide is a cannot miss. It is a Titans-centric draft guide, and I don't think you're going to find that just about anywhere else.
Okay.
No, I can't imagine there's a market for that anywhere else but here.
10 days, running out of time.
9. You keep saying 10.
You say butt hair.
It's 10. The draft starts on the 23rd. Today's the 13th.
Oh, okay. Very good. Let's talk about the Rueben Bain story coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So yesterday evening, about 6 o'clock Central Time, thereabouts, Ollie Connolly of the Read Optional Substack. We were just talking about Zach Lyons and Stony, their Substack that they do on Titans analysis and draft coverage. Ollie Connolly does a great podcast with our friend John Ledyard, who founded the Draft Network many years ago, and then Ledyard left to start his own Substack where he regularly puts together scouting reports. Robert, I should bring you, I know you have enough draft resources at your disposal, but I print out Ledyard's scouting profiles that he sends to people who subscribe to the Substack in their email. They're excellent. They're very, very thorough.
I will take his big board. I
have the big board too.
I like having multiple big boards when I watch the draft. I feel like I'm like Charlie from Always Sunny. Like, okay. So the consensus top player here is, and if we extrapolate the data for this, and this is fascinating. Yes, interesting. By the way, speaking of interesting, have you guys watched the new Love on the Spectrum season yet?
No, I don't want to talk about that either.
They are cooking with gas this season. It is incredible. The waterworks will flow. Of all the shows that Cheyenne forces me to watch, it is my favorite.
Nobody loves good reality TV like Robert Walsh.
I think that's true.
No, I don't like Dancing with the Stars and what's the other sing song?
Traders?
You love Traders.
Traders is
You loved Neighbors.
is the outsider. The Neighbors is a documentary.
It's a reality documentary.
I watched Pretty Woman for the first time last night.
For the first time?
I had never seen it.
Whoa.
I was
You're
sitting
paid off
down.
commission, right?
Big mistake. Huge. I was like, I knew that line.
I love that movie.
It's good.
Love that movie.
It does not hold up to society's current standards.
No, it's very problematic, especially George Costanza.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know he was in that movie.
Very problematic in the middle of that. What's the actor's name?
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
Oh, his character was awful.
Yeah,
but
truly
like
awful.
the whole first half, 3/4 of the movie, I was like kind of creeped out by Richard Gere. I was like,
Yeah.
What's your end game here? What's going on?
He's
Why
a
are you so-
businessman who's hired a prostitute.
Why are you so brooding?
what do you want with her? What is going on here? But yeah.
What do you mean, sex?
Well, no, because he's just weird. It was just weird. He's like, can we just talk? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, if it was just sex, he would have kicked her out. Like
Some people, that's their kink. Some people, it's OBJ, and allegedly you have a woman defecate on your chest. Who's to say? What's right, what's wrong?
I would say that's wrong.
It's a good movie.
That would be my line. Well, wait, if they were going to remake Pretty Woman, who would they put in
No,
that?
don't remake it. Don't. Like, for what?
To see how awkward they try to make it to
You
fit
can't-
into
You
today's.
can't remake that movie because then there would be all manner of public outcry about the content of that movie.
Yep. That's why I want it.
It's like, what's the last good...
The Rock plays Richard Gere's character.
Sydney Sweeney is the prostitute.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just go watch... what's the show she's in on HBO?
Euphoria. Also, that started back. They have just taken all kind. You know how South Park is like it tries to be extremely topical. I mean, that's part of the reason that they've survived for so long.
Yeah.
Euphoria jumped the shark. It's like,
Well, now they're just leaning into... They might as well make Sydney Sweeney a sex worker.
you know, she's an OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
Yes. It is, and that is one of the weirdest show on television.
They will have plenty of weirdos in the audience who are just subscribing to see lewd images of Sydney Sweeney. But, you know.
Woof woof. If you've seen the clips.
Anyway, what I wanted to talk about in this segment is not a laughing matter. It's Rueben Bain. Rueben Bain. So this Ollie Connolly report that he puts out yesterday and was the first to report it, although there were several people who then quote tweeted his reporting to point out that many people in the NFL and all 32 NFL clubs have known about the Rueben Bain car wreck from 2 years ago, a 2024 incident. So Cam Ward's only season on the Miami roster, for what it's worth. Cam Ward not implicated. I'm just saying, for my purposes, I had to think about that. Like, was Cam Ward on the roster? Yes. So Rueben Bain, two of his teammates at the time, get into a vehicle. Rueben Bain is the driver. Rueben Bain is not listed as the owner of the vehicle, for what it's worth, but Bain's NIL representation owns the vehicle. So Ollie Connolly gets a hold of the police reports on this and has the facts as such. He's a sophomore at the time. He's driving down I-95 in Miami at 4 a.m. in the morning. All right? Bad sign right away.
Yep, nothing good happens on the highway at 4 a.m.
No, certainly not. It's March 17th, 2024. So he runs into the back of another vehicle in this vehicle that he's driving. His car, after he hits the back of this other vehicle, slams into the concrete barrier on the east side of the highway, and he's moving at such a rate of speed at the time of the collision that the vehicle bounces from the east side of the highway to the opposite concrete barrier on the west side of the highway, and then the vehicle ultimately comes to rest in the middle of the multi-lane highway, which, again, bad sign. 4 a.m. decision-making, certainly a choice. 5 total people in the vehicle, 3 Miami players at the time, 2 women, 2 females, who are reportedly on spring break from Georgia. One of the women in the vehicle, a woman by the name of Destiny Betts, suffers injuries from the crash that ultimately put her into a coma, okay? She eventually and tragically passes away after spending 3 months in a coma. The second passenger, the other female passenger, was also hospitalized with injuries. The police crash report states, quote, Bain operated his vehicle in a careless or negligent manner, but there was no field sobriety test that was administered. I think that's one red flag. Why was a field sobriety test not administered? You can be asked to take a field sobriety test and decline a la Tiger Woods, right? But the idea that at 4 a.m. on a reckless driving charge when you've just totaled your vehicle and 2 people have to be hospitalized, one in a coma, that no field sobriety test was issued is a red flag just about the story, about the way that this was handled, not by Bain necessarily, but by the officers who showed up at the scene. So no field sobriety test administered. The charge was dismissed approximately 2 weeks. The charge for careless driving was dismissed approximately 2 weeks before Destiny Betts passed away. So he had his charges dismissed while she remained in a coma and did ultimately go on to pass away. There are statements from multiple league sources in this Ollie Connolly piece saying that people did not feel that Bain was necessarily forthcoming with the information, which is, again, red flag. I don't know what Miami University's or the University of Miami's responsibility here is. Like, do you have to disclose this to teams? Do you do it privately? Do you do it publicly? But nobody in South Florida, where the University of Miami football team is probably the biggest sports team, right? The Heat, the Panthers, the Dolphins, all of these other teams, I think, fall from a coverage standpoint, I think they fall pretty well by the wayside to the U. So that nobody had this story for 2 years is also an interesting factor in the middle of this. According to one league source, told Connolly, quote, it feels like it could be Laramie Tunsil all over again. It doesn't feel like Bain has been transparent with us. Now, I don't think that Laramie Tunsil, I add parenthetically, is an apt comparison here, Lucas. I think that Jalen Carter is probably the closer comparison.
And we learned about that at Combine.
10 minutes before he was scheduled to speak at the Combine.
And this is dropping to the public 10 days before Ruben Bain expects to be taken in the first round of the NFL draft. Now,
and I think still will be.
Most likely. It is important to include the statement from Destiny Betts' family that they gave to the Read Optional. The statement says, it calls the crash a, quote, tragic accident and said they, quote, wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career.
And that is of great consequence here, right?
Yeah.
Now, there is reportedly a settlement with Bain and the family. So I don't know if the settlement changes the tone of that statement. We don't know the details of the settlement, or at least none have been publicly reported at this point in time. Trey Wallace, our buddy at Outkick, also Trey called me after prime time, after we wrapped up, Robert. We spent 30 minutes on the phone of him telling me, basically walking me through the reporting process that he went through, where he said he FOIA'd the crap out of the Miami District Attorney. FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. It's how you go about a public records request when you are trying to find information relative to an accident or a crime, when you are doing journalism that way. So Trey Wallace also on this story found Bain was again cited for careless driving in 2025, but that case was also dismissed due to a defective citation. So he gets off on both of these charges, and a defective citation, Lucas, could be anything. They could have put AM instead of PM on the citation, and that makes it that voids the citation, essentially. So he's getting off on the second one on a technicality. This, as Lucas mentioned, the statement from Betts' family, the woman that passed away, as her family, we remain deeply committed to honoring her memory in a meaningful and appropriate way. Destiny's passing was the result of a tragic accident that occurred several years ago. While the loss remains incredibly painful for our family, we have worked hard to find peace and move forward. At this time, we are not seeking public attention surrounding this tragedy and respectfully request that our family's privacy be honored. We also wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career. Okay. So, worth noting, the careless driving charge. So the critical points here are, he had 2 careless driving charges, both dismissed. The passenger, one of the passengers in the first careless driving incident, of which it was a serious crash that totaled the car, caused the victim to ultimately go into a coma and then 3 months later pass away. No finding of criminal liability, and this is an important part as well for his purposes. No finding of criminal liability has been made in connection with the crash or her death. So right now, Ruben Bain is not criminally liable for the death of Destiny Betts. Okay, so a lot of NFL insiders, and I saw Lucas send in a funny tweet from Ian Harditz. You want to read that tweet at some point if you don't have it in front of you?
Yeah, that was great.
Because a lot of insiders and people like Todd McShay, we can ask Todd McShay about this on Wednesday. A lot of people very quickly quote tweeted the report and said, people in the league have known about this for months.
Ian Harditz, which is
it's
different.
True. People have heard this rumor for a period of at least weeks. Teams have allegedly known for several months.
I think McShay coming out and saying, hey, just so you know, this is not new information to NFL teams. That is relevant.
The McShay tweet needs to be read first to make Ian really hit. So McShay says, by no means am I diminishing the severity of the tragedy that happened, but the wording here reads as if this is recent news to NFL teams. It's not. They have known and vetted for several months.
Yeah, which I do think is relevant information. That Todd McShay is not coming out here saying, well, I knew about this. He's saying, hey, listen, this is not, NFL teams aren't being blindsided by this. That's important. But Ian Harditz, who does he work for? Matthew Berry's fantasy company. MB Fantasy Life tweeted, you just found out about the Ruben Bain stuff? NFL insiders have known for months. They're so cool that they know stuff you don't. That's what being an insider is all about. Find out stuff the public doesn't know and then only tell them once everyone winds up finding out. It's such a great way to put it.
Tweet.
He's a great Twitter
The amount of people that will get out there and be like, oh, this has been out there. Oh, we knew this. We knew this. Why don't you say something? Why didn't you report it?
Well, and I think that's part of it, and Buck can probably answer this better than I can, but, reporting takes time. It's not as easy as just saying, Ruben Bain was involved in this in 2024 and hitting tweet. You have to.
Now, what I will tell you is there's no excuse for a 2-year-old story taking this long to come out. Barry Jackson is one of the premier sports journalists anywhere in the country. He's based out of South Florida. Barry Jackson, or even a news outlet in South Florida, because it's not just a sports story. It's a story regarding a woman losing her life that also happens to feature 3 University of Miami at the time athletes. Rueben Bain, obviously the highest profile of any of these athletes. So this is a story that is inexplicable to me that it took 2 years, more than 2 years, to come out. We're damn near 2 years removed from her death, which happened 3 months after the actual incident. But the other thing that I would ask you about, or that I would say, is yes, it does take significant amount of time to request these records, to vet these records, because it is your responsibility as a journalist to then call all of the parties involved. So that's the Miami-Dade Police Department. That's Rueben Bain. That's the Miami NIL arm. That's the University of Miami. That's the coaching staff. Anybody that has a connection point to this story, you have to at least attempt to contact and reach out to comment for. If they choose not to comment for the story, okay, you gave them the opportunity, but it's Trey Wallace and Ollie Connolly's responsibility as the two people primarily reporting this story to make sure that they follow up on every front. Now, you can question the timing. The timing is also an interesting component here because I see somebody bitching and moaning about, Buck, it's still a non-story. No, it's an NFL draft prospect that was involved in a car wreck that saw a girl die, and apparently he was not forthcoming.
Well,
that's relevant.
It was a tragic situation, obviously. And again, to reiterate, there's no criminal liability currently against Rueben Bain. Like he doesn't have a hearing coming up or anything like that. But Trey Wallace,
according to Trey Wallace, he was just in court about this last month
because he was issued a citation on October 10th, 2025, driving a 2025 Tesla Cybertruck in which he was again cited for careless driving.
Yeah, that's the second infraction.
Right.
We talked about that earlier.
Right. Which I wonder, is that...
That's the defective citation one.
Yeah, but for NFL teams, would that be the thing that they come back to? Where
Hell
it's like,
yes,
okay,
it's
why?
Twice within a year.
Right. Somebody lost their life in this sort of situation, and then a year later, you got the same citation? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's bad decision making. At minimum, it's bad decision making. And if you are going to invest tens of millions of dollars into whoever this person not only will become, but has been, these things are relevant. Jeff Simmons' domestic violence issue in high school, he did not have an issue in college. He did not have an issue. He has never had an issue in the pros. He has never had any kind of off-the-field issue of my recollection. At the time when he got drafted and that video was everywhere and he was being drafted by a team with a female owner, it begs the question. Amy, it's the last press conference that Amy took questions at, and I thought she handled it masterfully, if I'm being completely honest. I've had a lot of criticisms of Amy Adams Strunk over the years. But we had to ask the questions, Amy, as a female owner, where there are not many female owners in professional football, how comfortable were you with the vetting process on this player? Because you are investing a huge amount of money and obviously the draft capital itself into this person. It's to say James Pearson is off his nebulous off-the-field issues, okay? Because this was just categorized as, oh, he's got off-the-field issues. You know how broad that damn umbrella is for off-the-field issues? Yeah, somebody died in a car crash that he was driving the car, Ruben Bain. Off-the-field issues. I don't think people typically say, yeah, somebody died in a car crash. That's under the umbrella of off-the-field issues. But his decision-making through the entire process, the shadiness around the rest of the details here, the defective citation, the fact that he had 2 issues within a year, the fact that, again, according to the reporting, he was not immediately forthcoming with teams about this. This is something that you have to understand that you are going to be prepped for. You need to get out in front of this, okay? I'm not saying you have to make a public statement or anything like that, but at least with the people who are getting ready to employ you, you have to put them at ease that you are, 1, either not criminally liable, which he is not, and 2, that you are a different person than the person who 2 years ago made this tragic and horrifying mistake. The idea that people are saying it's a non-story. How stupid and thick are you if you think that way? Truly. Are you just content to live in ignorance that the idea that a multi-billion-dollar organization, any of the 32, should not take every measure that they have at their disposal, where they basically employ, I wouldn't say, CIA level of investigations, but many of these people have former police officers, former sheriffs, former police chiefs working in their buildings for specifically this purpose. Because if these kids don't disclose information that's relevant, it's their job to make sure that their organization is protected from whatever may be lurking in the background. So they don't get bit by it at some point when they draft this kid and they didn't turn over every possible stone. Of course it's relevant. It's completely stupid to think otherwise. Now, will it affect his draft stock on the more callous side of this? It will have already affected his draft stock. We're just now getting to the point where it's become public knowledge. And there will be additional reporting on this because now that it's out there in the ether, you can bet your ass that a lot more people are going to start digging into the fact that why the hell was this not disclosed for more than 2 years? Where is there the potential for a cover-up in this particular situation? And as this league source that is being quoted in the Ollie Connolly piece is providing, if he's not fully disclosing that, what else is out there? Of course it's relevant. An utterly stupid way to think about this. Last call for phone calls. We'll wrap up the show coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Fun show. If you missed any of it, check out the podcast after the fact. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can also rewatch the show on YouTube, Zone TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, if you would like to do that. We always enjoy your participation no matter where you're consuming the show. So we have a pretty critical Preds game coming up tonight at home against the San Jose Sharks. Lucas, what do people need to know? Jesus Christ.
Wow. Yeah, it comes in hot. 2 more opportunities for the Preds here to try and sneak into that second wild card spot in the West. They picked up the win at Bridgestone Arena, 2-1 over the Wild. Took a 2-0 lead into the third period. Were able to hang on. And the Preds currently sit 1 spot and 1 point back of that second wild card spot behind the LA Kings, who are on 87 points, the Preds on 86 points. Problem is, Kings have a game in hand. They round out their regular season with 3 road games this week. The Preds round out the season with a 2-game, or part of a 3-game homestand, the last 2 starting tonight with the Sharks and then Thursday against the Ducks. Here's the situation. The LA Kings will clinch a playoff berth if they beat the Seattle Kraken tonight in any fashion, shootout or otherwise, and if the Preds lose tonight. So if that happens, Preds lose, Kings win, Preds are out of the playoffs. The Anaheim Ducks are a team that is sitting there at 3rd overall in the Pacific, so they currently are 1 spot out of the wild card. They can clinch a playoff berth if the Preds lose in any fashion tonight. But for the purposes of that second wild card spot, Preds pretty much need to win to stay alive. They need the Kings to slip up on the road. The question mark today is about who will start in goal. Will it be Justus Annunen or will it be UC Saros? Annunen was very good against the Wild over the weekend, and Andrew Burnett says it's a game-time decision. So who are you going to hand the keys to in the most critical stretch of your season? Are you going to kind of ride the hot hand, so to speak, from Saturday, or go back to UC Saros with only 2 games to go? 7 o'clock tonight at Bridgestone Arena.
If they get in the postseason, are they going to do anything?
Like we said with Gentry last week, I feel like this second wild card team out of the West is going to be viewed as the worst team in the NHL postseason. But, and Gentry laid it out, there really doesn't benefit you to miss the postseason here. Like, you're here, you're in position, you might as well go to the playoffs and see what you can do. It's a new era anyway. The reset button feels like it's going to be hit anyway. You have aging players on big contracts that if they can offload, they will. We'll see if there's a change in head coach. I do think Andrew Burnett deserves a ton of credit. Like, let's go back a few months. It was the worst start in the history of the Nashville Predators as a franchise to the season. And they've been scrapping for the last few months. They've had their backs against the wall. They've basically been in win or go home mode for like 3 months now, and they continue to stay in the mix, and we'll see if they can finish strong. But it's such an awkward place to be where there's a new era coming down the pipe. Barry Trotz's time as the GM is over as soon as the season comes to an end, whenever it does. So you might as well get in there and see if you can make some noise, push a first-round series to 7 games, try and sneak into the second, and make something of it, because it could wind up being a long reset for the Preds here in the next few years.
Okay, so you're giving him credit, and I guess that's because we lowered the bar from the team that they put together that was sold as a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah, no,
and they were the worst team in hockey.
Yeah, sure. Like, again, we can walk and chew gum, right? We're capable of doing both. We're capable of saying that Andrew Burnett was lucky to be brought back as the head coach of this team with how disastrous last year was.
I think I'm pretty comfortable saying in how many NHL franchises are there? 30?
I believe that's correct right now.
Okay. If there's 29 other franchises where Barry Trotz is not the general manager, Andrew Burnett probably gets fired at 29 other places,
yeah,
right?
32 teams. Yes.
32?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
32 NHL teams?
32 NHL teams.
Okay. I struggle with I get what you're saying about, at least they're not dead. But I'm not even 2 years removed from what this thing was supposed to be when they signed Steven Stamkos and Marcia Show and Brady Shea and all of these other top-line players that were going to come in here and take this thing to not just another level, but take this thing to a championship contending level. And it did the exact opposite.
Yeah. I mean, player performance is a factor, too. Stamkos was not good last year. He's a 40-goal scorer this season.
He is.
Hit 40 goals over the weekend. Philip Forsberg on 38 goals.
I'm going to give more credit to the player than I am the players than I am the coach in this situation.
I don't know what's going to happen moving forward here, but all I'm saying is they were presented with the worst start in franchise history, and what they've done since then is drag out of the depths, and to even be here talking about making the playoffs is a place we certainly did not think they would be only a couple of months ago.
Okay, and that's fine, and I understand what you're saying about adapting opinions to new information, because that's the correct way to do this, of course. But if they get into the postseason and they get swept, like, I'm not going to pat them on the back verbally and say, well, at least you tried, boys. At least you showed fight there at the end. You didn't do anything. Didn't mean anything.
I mean, again,
it's a franchise that, what was their consecutive playoff streak? They were riding
7, I think.
7 or 8 years of consecutive playoff appearances. And President's Cup winning teams and Stanley Cup contending teams regularly appearing in the playoffs. Now the bar is so low that, well, at least you fought at the end, and maybe you make the playoffs, and maybe you get in there and somebody called them the Western Conference doormat in the chat.
I mean, it's a weird place to be, because it's kind of this lame duck situation. So, yeah, make the most of the opportunities you have left. Like, this is why we do this. As a Preds fan, you can know that the Preds are not Stanley Cup contenders. Like, yeah, crazy things happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We understand that. But you understand the reality of the situation. So, yeah, win while you're here. Have fun with it. Like, I don't understand the logic of not wanting them to get to the postseason to start the rebuild earlier, for whatever benefits that can give you. Like, at this point, it doesn't really help you in any way to end your season earlier than if you get into the first round of the playoffs. At least make it fun here in the backstretch, because we may not get it for quite some time. And odds are, I would say, Andrew Burnett is not back as the coach of the Preds. With this much turnover, I'd be pretty surprised.
They better hire someone externally to do this GM job. I just don't think it's a good idea to keep it in-house. I mean, am I off base about that? I wouldn't pretend to know, or even close to know, all the ins and outs of the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with the fan base right now.
But, like, if we end up seeing David Poyle's kid just take this thing over, like with a Barry Trotz stint in between David Poyle, Poyle is still in some kind of capacity in the front office, right? He's not, like, gone.
Yeah, he's there as an advisor. No, I think Preds fans are there.
It feels so incestuous, the whole thing.
What's his son's name?
Brian.
Oh, that's lame. I was hoping it was Doyle.
Doyle Poyle.
Doyle, Poyle, trouble, and what's the thing? What's the witch thing?
What?
Are you thinking of
Toil, Boyle?
There's a Doyle McPoyle.
Cauldron Boyle and something Bubble or something like that?
Yeah,
right?
I messed it up.
I thought you were making an Always Sunny reference.
No, not.
Not everything is an Always Sunny reference.
Doyle McPoyle.
All right.
Big game tonight at Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, we will see if the Preds. I did not do polls. There are no polls.
What did you say? You didn't do? You didn't do polls?
Why is it?
Sorry, I can't
Why is
hear
it getting
you.
louder?
So loud.
What did you say about polls? Hold on, give me 1 second. This is almost over. It's almost done.
It's just the random guttural yells that crack me up. If we had done the polls.
The Poyles. If we had done the Poyles.
We had done the Poyles and the polls. They would have been presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Try and make that from where you're sitting into the trash can. Let's see it.
I can't even see it.
It doesn't matter. Be an athlete.
Oh,
that's pretty damn
that was close, dude. You
pretty
almost
damn
made
close.
it. Dang.
Way better than I thought I was going to be. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We will do prime time early tonight because I'm exhausted. So we will do prime time around 6. We'll look forward to your participation there. Have a great rest of your afternoon. As I mentioned, Blaine and Zach are next.